Act 1 of The Busybody by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. The Busybody, a comedy, written by Mrs. Susanna Centlivre. Quem tulit ad sinam ventoso gloria curo, ex animat lentus spectator sedulus inflat. Sic leve, sic parvum est, animum quod laudis avarum, subruit aut reficit. Horatius, Letters, Book 2, Letter 1. To the Right Honourable John Lord Somers, Lord President of Her Majesty's Most Honourable Privy Council. May it please your Lordship, as it's an established custom in these latter ages for all writers, particularly the poetical, to shelter their productions under the protection of the most distinguished, whose approbation produces a kind of inspiration much superior to that which the heathenish poets pretended to derive from their fictitious Apollo, so it was my ambition to address one of my weak performances to your Lordship, who, by universal consent, are justly allowed to be the best judge of all kinds of writing. I was indeed at first deterred from my design by a thought that it might be accounted unpardonable rudeness to obtrude a trifle of this nature to a person whose sublime wisdom moderates that counsel which, at this critical juncture, overrules the fate of all Europe. But then I was encouraged by reflecting that Lelius and Scipio, the two greatest men in their time among the Romans, both for political and military virtues, in the height of their important affairs, thought the perusal and improving of Terence's comedies the noblest way of unbinding their minds. I own I were guilty of the highest vanity should I presume to put my composures in parallel with those of that celebrated dramatist. But then again, I hope that your Lordship's native goodness and generosity, in condescension to the taste of the best and fairest part of the town, who have been pleased to be diverted by the following scenes, will excuse and overlook such faults as your nicer judgment might discern. And here, my lord, the occasion seems fair for me to engage in a panegyric upon those natural and acquired abilities which so brightly adorn your person. But I shall resist that temptation, being conscious of the inequality of a female pen to so masculine an attempt, and having no other ambition than to subscribe myself, my lord, your lordship's most humble and most obedient servant, Susanna Centlivre. Prologue by the author of Tunbridge Walks. Though modern prophets were exposed of late, the author could not prophesy his fate. If with such scenes an audience had been fired, the poet must have really been inspired. But these, alas, are melancholy days for modern prophets and for modern plays. Yet since prophetic lies please fools a fashion, and women are so fond of agitation, to men of sense I'll prophesy anew, and tell you wondrous things that will prove true. Undaunted colonels will to camps repair, assured there'll be no skirmishes this year. On our own terms will flow the wished-for peace, all wars except twixt man and wife will cease. The grand monarch may wish his son a throne, but hardly will advance to lose his own. This season most things bear a smiling face, but players in summer have a dismal case. Since your appearance only is our act of grace, court ladies will to country seats be gone. My lord can't all the year live great in town, where, wanting operas, basset, and a play, they'll sigh and stitch a gown to pass the time away. Gay city wives at Tunbridge will appear, whose husbands long have laboured for an heir, where many a courtier may their wants relieve, but by the waters only they conceive. The Fleet Street sempstress, toast of temple sparks, that run spruce neckcloths for attorneys' clerks, at Cupid's gardens will her hours regale, sing fair Dorinda, and drink bottled ale. At all assemblies, rakes are up and down, and gamesters, where they think they are not known. Should I denounce our author's fate today, to cry down prophecies, you'd damn the play. Yet whims like these have sometimes made you laugh. 'Tis tattling all, like Isaac Bickerstaff. Since war and places claim the bards that write, be kind, and bear a woman's treat tonight. Let your indulgence all her fears allay, and none but woman-haters damn this play. Dramatis Personae.
Sir George Airy, a gentleman of 4,000 a year, in love with Miranda. Read by Greg Giordano.
Sir Francis Grape, guardian to Miranda and Marplot. Father to Charles, in love with Miranda. Read by Mike Manolakis.
Charles, friend to Sir George, in love with Isabinda. Read by Jim Locke.
Sir Jealous Traffic, a merchant that had lived some time in Spain, a great admirer of the Spanish customs, father to Isabinda. Read by Alan Mapstone.
Marplot, a sort of a silly fellow, cowardly, but very inquisitive to know everybody's business. Generally spoils all he undertakes, yet without design. Read by Todd.
Whisper, servant to Charles. Read by Larry Wilson.
Miranda, an heiress worth £30,000, really in love with Sir George, but pretends to be so with her guardian, Sir Francis. Read by Jen Broda.
Isabinda, daughter to Sir Jealous, in love with Charles, but designed for a Spanish merchant by her father, and kept up from the sight of all men. Read by Grace Buchanan.
Petch, her woman. Read by Sonia.
Sentwell, woman to Miranda. Read by Wendy Katz-Hiller.
Butler. Read by David Purdy.
Servant. Read by Andrew Gauntz.
Draw. Read by Michelle Eaton.
Stage directions read by Adrian Stevens. The Busybody. Act 1, Scene the Park. Sir George Airy meeting Charles.
Ah, Sir George Airy, a birding thus early? What forbidden game roused you so soon? For no lawful occasion could invite a person of your figure abroad at such unfashionable hours.
There are some men, Charles, whom fortune has left free from inquietudes, who are diligently studious to find ways and means to make themselves uneasy.
Is it possible that anything in nature can ruffle the temper of a man whom the 4 seasons of the year compliment with as many £1,000, nay, and a father at rest with his ancestors?
Why, there 'tis now. A man that wants money thinks none can be unhappy that has it. But my affairs are in such a whimsical posture that it will require a calculation of my nativity to find if my gold will relieve me or not.
Never consult the stars about that. Gold has a power beyond them. Gold unlocks the midnight councils. Gold outdoes the wind, becalms the ship, or fills her sails. Gold is omnipotent below. It makes whole armies fight or fly. It buys even souls and bribes the wretches to betray their country. Then what can thy business be that gold won't serve thee in?
Why, I'm in love.
In love? Oh, in love! With what, prithee, a cherubim?
No, with a woman.
A woman? Good! And gold not help thee?
But suppose I'm in love with 2.
Ay, if thou art in love with 200, gold will fetch 'em, I warrant thee, boy. But who are they? Who are they? Come.
One is a lady whose face I never saw, but witty as an angel. The other beautiful as Venus.
And a fool?
For aught I know, for I never spoke to her, but you can inform me. I am charmed by the wit of one, and die for the beauty of the other.
And pray, which are you in quest of now?
I prefer the sensual pleasure. I'm for her I've seen, who is thy father's ward, Miranda.
Nay, then I pity you, for the Jew my father will no more part with her, and 30,000 pound than he would with a guinea to keep me from starving.
Now you see gold can't do everything, Charles.
Yes, for 'tis her gold that bars my father's gate against you.
Why, if he is this avaricious wretch, how camest thou by such a liberal education?
Not a souse out of his pocket, I assure you. I had an uncle who defrayed that charge, but for some little wildnesses of youth, though he made me his heir, left Dad my guardian till I came to years of discretion, which I presume the old gentleman will never think I am. And now he has got the estate into his clutches, it does me no more good than if it lay in Prester John's dominions.
What canst thou find no stratagem to redeem it?
I've made many essays to no purpose, though want, the mistress of invention, still tempts me on, yet still the old fox is too cunning for me. I'm upon my last project, which, if it fails, then for my last refuge, a brown musquet.
What is it? Can I assist thee?
Not yet. When you can, I have confidence enough in you to ask it.
I am always ready. But what does he intend to do with Miranda? Is she to be sold in private, or will he put her up by way of auction, at who bids most? If so, egad, I'm for him. My gold, as you say, shall be subservient to my pleasure.
To deal ingeniously with you, Sir George, I know very little of her or home, for since my uncle's death and my return from travel, I've never been well with my father. He thinks my expenses too great, and I his allowance too little. He never sees me but he quarrels, and to avoid that I shun his house as much as possible. The report is he intends to marry her himself.
Can she consent to it?
Yes, faith, so they say, but I tell you I'm wholly ignorant of the matter. Miranda and I are like two violent members of a contrary party. I can scarce allow her beauty, though all the world does, nor she me civility. For that contempt I fancy she plays the mother-in-law already, and sets the old gentleman on to do mischief.
Then I've your free consent to get her?
Ay, and my helping hand, if occasion be.
Whew! Yonder's a fool coming this way. Let's avoid him.
What, Marplot? No, he's my instrument. There's 1,000 conveniences in him. He'll lend me his money, when he has any, run of my errands, and be proud on't. In short, he'll pimp for me, lie for me, drink for me, do anything but fight for me, and that I trust to my own arm for.
Nay, then he's to be endured. I never knew his qualifications before.
Enter Marplow with a patch across his face.
And dear Charles, yours?
Aside.
Ah, Sir George Airy, the man in the world I have an ambition to be known to. Give me thy hand, dear boy.
A good assurance. But hark ye, how came your beautiful countenance clouded in the wrong place?
I must confess 'tis a little malapropos. But no matter for that. A word with you, Charles. Prithee, introduce me to Sir George. He is a man of wit, and I'd give 10 guineas to—
When you have 'em, you mean?
Ay, when I have 'em. Pooh, pox, you cut the thread of my discourse. I would give 10 guineas, I say, to be ranked in his acquaintance. Well, 'tis a vast addition to a man's fortune, according to the rout of the world, to be seen in the company of leading men, for then we are all thought to be politicians, or Whigs, or Jacks, or high flyers, or low flyers, or levellers, and so forth, for you must know we all herd in parties now.
Then a fool for diversion is out of fashion, I find.
Yes, without it be a mimicking fool, and they are darlings everywhere. But prithee, introduce me.
Well, on condition you'll give us a true account how you came by that morning nose, I will.
I'll do it.
Sir George, here's a gentleman has a passionate desire to kiss your hand.
Oh, I honor men of the sword, and I presume this gentleman is lately come from Spain or Portugal by his scars.
Not really, Sir George. Mine sprung from civil fury, happening last night into the groom porters. I had a strong inclination to go 10 guineas with a kind of a milksop, as I thought. A pox of the dice he flung out, and my pockets being empty, as Charles knows they sometimes are, he proved a surly North Briton, and he broke my face for my deficiency.
And did not you draw?
Draw, sir? Why, I did but lay my hand upon my sword to make a swift retreat, and he roared out. Now the deil o' my soul, sir, gin ye touch your steel, I's whip mine through your wen.
Face was the word, so you walked off, I suppose.
Yes, for I avoid fighting, purely to be serviceable to my friends, you know.
Your friends are much obliged to you, sir. I hope you'll rank me in that number.
Sir George, a bow from the side box, or to be seen in your chariot, binds me ever yours.
Trifles. You may command 'em when you please.
Provided he may command you.
Me? Why, I live for no other purpose. Sir George, I have the honour to be caressed by the most of the reigning toasts of the town. I'll tell them you are the finest gentleman.
No, no, prithee, let me alone to tell the ladies my parts. Can you convey a letter upon occasion, or deliver a message with an air of business? Ha!
With the assurance of a page and the gravity of a statesman.
You know Miranda?
What, my sister Ward? Why, her guardian is mine. We are fellow sufferers. Ah, he is a covetous, cheating, sanctified curmudgeon. That Sir Francis Gripe is a damned old—
I suppose, friend, you forget that he is my father.
I beg your pardon, Charles, but it is for your sake I hate him. Why, I say, the world is mistaken in him. His outside piety makes him every man's executor, and his inside cunning makes him every heir's jailer. Egad, Charles, I'm half persuaded that thou'rt some ward too, and never of his getting, for thou art as honest a debauchee as ever cuckold man of quality.
A pleasant fellow.
The dog is diverting sometimes, or there would be no enduring his impertinence. He is pressing to be employed and willing to execute, but some ill fate generally attends all he undertakes, and he oftener spoils an intrigue than helps it.
If I miscarry, 'tis none of my fault. I follow my instructions.
Yes, witness the merchant's wife.
Pish pox, that was an accident.
What was it, prithee?
Why, you must know. I'd lent a certain merchant my hunting horses, and was to have met his wife in his absence, sending him along with my groom to make the compliment and to deliver a letter to the lady at the same time. What does he do but gives the husband the letter and offers her the horses?
I remember you was even with me, for you denied the letter to be yours, and swore I had a design upon her, which my bones paid for.
Come, Sir George, let's walk round, if you are not engaged, for I have sent my man upon a little earnest business, and have ordered him to bring me the answer into the part.
Marplow, aside.
Business, and I not know it? Egad, I'll watch him.
I must beg your pardon, Charles. I am to meet your father here.
My father?
Aye, and about the oddest bargain, perhaps, you've ever heard of. But I'll not impart till I know the success.
Marplow, aside.
What can his business be with Sir Francis? Now I would give all the world to know it. Why the devil should not one know every man's concern?
Prosperity to it, whatever it be. I have private affairs too. Over a bottle we'll compare notes.
Marplow, aside.
Charles knows I love a glass as well as any man. I'll make one. Shall it be to-night? Ah, I long to know their secrets.
Enter Whisper.
Sir, Miss Patch says Isabenda's Spanish father has quite spoiled the plot, and she can't meet with you in the park. But he infallibly will go out this afternoon, she says. But I must step again to know the hour.
Marplow, aside.
What did Whisper say? I'll go stark mad if I'm not let into this secret.
Cursed misfortune, come along with me. My heart feels pleasure at her name. Sir George, yours. We'll meet at the old place, the usual hour.
Agreed. I think I see Sir Francis yonder.
Exit.
Marplot, you must excuse me. I am engaged.
Exit.
Engaged? Egad, I'll engage my life. I'll know what your engagement is.
Exit. Miranda, coming out of a chair.
Let the chair wait. My servant, that dogged Sir George, said he was in the park.
Enter Patch.
Ha! Miss Patch alone! Did not you tell me you had contrived a way to bring Isabinda to the park?
Oh, madam, your ladyship can't imagine what a wretched disappointment we have met with. Just as I had fetched a suit of my clothes for disguise, comes my old master into his closet, which is right against her chamber door. This struck us into a terrible fright. At length I put on a grave face, and asked him if he was at leisure for his chocolate, in hopes to draw him out of his hole. But he snapped my nose off. No, I shall be busy here these 2 hours. At which my poor mistress, seeing no way of escape, ordered me to wait on your ladyship with the sad relation.
Unhappy Isabinda! Was ever anything so unaccountable as the humour of Sir Jealous Traffic?
Oh, madam, it's his living so long in Spain. He vows he'll spend half his estate, but he'll be a parliament man on purpose to bring in a bill for women to wear veils and the other odious Spanish customs. He swears it is the height of impudence to have a woman seen barefaced even at church, and scarce believes there's a true begotten child in the city.
How the old fool torments himself! Suppose he could introduce his rigid rules. Does he think we could not match them in contrivance? No, no, let the tyrant man make what laws he will. If there's a woman under the government, I warrant she finds a way to break 'em. Is his mind set upon the Spaniard for his son-in-law still?
Ay, and he expects him by the next fleet, which drives his daughter to melancholy and despair. But, madam, I find you retain the same gay, cheerful spirit you had when I waited on your ladyship. My lady is mighty good-humoured too, and I have found a way to make Sir Jealousy believe I am wholly in his interest, when my real design is to serve her. He makes me her jailer, and I set her at liberty.
I know thy prolific brain would be of singular service to her, or I had not parted with thee to her father.
But, madam, the report is that you are going to marry your guardian.
It is necessary such a report should be, Patch.
But is it true, madam?
That's not absolutely necessary.
I thought it was only the old strain, coaxing him still for your own and railing at all the young fellows about town. In my mind now, you are as ill-plagued with your guardian, madam, as my lady is with her father.
No, I have liberty, wench that she wants. What would she give now to be in this disably in the open air? Nay, more, in pursuit of the young fellow she likes, for that's my case, I assure thee.
As for that, madam, she's even with you, for though she can't come abroad, we have a way to bring him home in spite of the old Argus.
Now, Patch, your opinion of my choice, for here he comes. Ha! My guardian with him! What could be the meaning of this? I'm sure Sir Francis can't know me in this dress. Let's observe 'em.
They withdraw. Enter Sir Francis Gripe and Sir George Airy.
Verily, Sir George, thou wilt repent throwing away thy money so. For I tell thee sincerely, Miranda, my charge, does not love a young fellow. They are all vicious, and seldom make good husbands. In sober sadness she cannot abide them.
Miranda, peeping.
In sober sadness you are mistaken. What can this mean?
Look ye, Sir Francis, whether she can or cannot abide young fellows is not the business. Will you take the 50 guineas?
In good truth, I will not, for I knew thy father. He was a hearty, wary man, and I cannot consent that his son should squander away what he saved to no purpose.
Miranda, peeping.
Now in the name of wonder, what bargain can he be driving about me for 50 guineas?
I wish it'd been for the first night's lodging, madam.
Well, Sir Francis, since you are so conscientious for my father's sake, then permit me the favour gratis.
Miranda, peeping.
The favour? Oh, my life! I believe 'tis as you said, Patch.
No, verily. If thou dost not buy thy experience, thou would never be wise. Therefore, give me 100 and try fortune.
The scruples arose, I find, from the scanty sum. Let me see, 100 guineas?
Takes them out of a purse and chinks them.
Ha! They have a very pretty sound, and a very pleasing look. But then, Miranda... But if she should be cruel...
Miranda, peeping.
As 10 to 1 I shall.
I do consider on it.
No, I'll do it.
Do it? What? Whether you will or no, madam?
Come to the point. Here's the gold. Sum up the conditions.
Sir Francis, pulling out a paper. Miranda, peeping.
Aye, for heaven's sake do, for my expectation is on the rack.
Well, at your own peril be it.
Aye, go on.
Imprimis, you are to be admitted into my house in order to move your suit to Miranda for the space of 10 minutes, without let or molestation, provided I remain in the same room.
But out of earshot.
Well, I don't desire to hear what you say. In consideration, I am to have that purse and 100 guineas.
Take it.
Gives him the purse. Miranda, peeping.
So 'tis well it's no worse. I'll fit you both.
And this agreement is to be performed today.
Aye, the sooner the better, poor fool. How Miranda and I shall laugh at him. Well, Sir George, ha, take the last sound of your guineas, ha.
Chinks 'em. Exit. Miranda, peeping.
Sure he does not know that I am Miranda.
A very extraordinary bargain I have made, truly. If she should be really in love with this old cuff now, that's morally impossible. But then, what hopes have I to succeed? I never spoke to her.
Miranda, peeping.
Say you so? Then I am safe.
What though my tongue never spoke, my eyes said 1,000 things, and my hopes flattered me hers answered 'em. If I'm lucky, if not, 'tis but 100 guineas thrown away.
Miranda and Patch come forwards.
Upon what, Sir George?
My incognito, upon a woman, madam.
They are the worst things you can deal in, and damage the soonest. Your very breath destroys them, and I fear you'll never see your return, Sir George.
Were they more brittle than china, and dropped to pieces with a touch? Every atom of her I have ventured at, if she is but mistress of thy wit, balance is 10 times the sum. Prithee, let me see thy face.
By no means. That may spoil your opinion of my sense.
Rather confirm it, madam.
So rob the lady of your gallantry, sir.
No, child. A dish of chocolate in the morning never spoils my dinner. The other lady, I design a set meal, so there's no danger.
Matrimony? What crimes have you committed against the god of love that he should revenge him so severely to stamp husband upon your forehead?
For my folly in having so often met you here without pursuing the laws of nature and exercising her command. But I resolve ere we part now to know who you are, where you live, and what kind of flesh and blood your face is. Therefore, unmask, and don't put me to the trouble of doing it for you.
My face is the same flesh and blood with my hand, Sir George, which if you'll be so rude to provoke.
You'll apply it to my cheek. The lady's favours are always welcome, but I must have that cloud withdrawn.
Taking hold of her.
Remember, you are in the park, child, and what a terrible thing would it be to lose this pretty white hand.
And how will it sound in a chocolate house that Sir George Airy rudely pulled off a lady's mask, when he had given her his honour that he never would, directly or indirectly endeavour to know her till she gave him leave?
Patch aside.
I wish we were safe out.
But if that lady thinks fit to pursue and meet me at every turn like some troubled spirit, shall I be blamed if I inquire into the reality? I would have nothing dissatisfied in a female shape.
What shall I do?
Pause.
Ah, prithee consider, for thou shalt find me very much at thy service.
Suppose, sir, the lady should be in love with you.
Oh, I'll return the obligation in a moment.
And marry her?
That's not the way to love her, child.
If he discovers me, I shall die. Which way shall I escape? Let me see.
Pauses.
Well, madam?
I have it. Sir George, 'tis fit you should allow something. If you'll excuse my face and turn your back, if you look upon me, I shall sink, even masked as I am. I will confess why I have engaged you so often, who I am, and where I live.
Well, to show you I'm a man of honor, I accept the conditions.
Aside.
Let me but once know those, and the face won't be long a secret to me.
What mean you, madam?
To get off.
'Tis something indecent to turn one's back upon a lady, but you command, and I obey.
Turns his back.
Come, madam, begin.
First, then, it was my unhappy lot to see you at Paris.
Draws back a little while and speaks.
At a ball upon a birthday. Your shape and air charmed my eyes, your wit and complacence my soul. And from that fatal night I loved you.
Drawing back.
And when you left the place, grief seized me so, no rest my heart, no sleep my eyes could know. Last I resolved a hazardous point to try, and quit the place in search of liberty.
Exit.
Excellent. I hope she's handsome. Well now, madam, to the other 2 things, your name and where you live. I am a gentleman, and this confession will not be lost upon me. Nay, prithee don't weep, but go on, for I find my heart melts in thy behalf. Speak quickly, or I shall turn about. Not yet? Poor lady, she expects I should comfort her, and to do her justice, she has said enough to encourage me.
Turns about.
Huh? Gone? The devil? Jilted? Why, what a tale has she invented of Paris, balls, and birthdays! Egad, I'd give 10 guineas to know who this gipsy is. Curse of my folly! I deserve to lose her. What woman can forgive a man that turns his back? The bold and resolute in love and war, to conquer take the right and swiftest way. The boldest lover soonest gains the fair, as courage makes the rudest force obey. Take no denial, and the dames adore ye. Closely pursue them, and they fall before ye.
End of Act 1. Act 2 of The Busybody by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act the 2nd. Enter Sir Francis Gripe, Miranda.
Ha 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 ha!
Oh, I shall die with laughing. The most romantic adventure. What does the odious young fop mean? 100 pieces to talk an hour with me?
And I'm to be by too. There's the jest. Adod, if it had been in private, I should not have cared to trust the young dog.
Indeed and indeed, but you might, Guardy. Now, methinks there's nobody handsomer than you, so neat, so clean, so good-humoured, and so loving.
Pretty rogue, and so thou shalt find me. If thou dost prefer thy Guardy before these caperers of the age, thou shalt outshine the Queen's box on an opera night. Thou shalt be the envy of the ring, for I will carry thee to Hyde Park, and thy equipage shall surpass the, ambassadors.
Nay, I'm sure the discreet part of my sex will envy me more for the inside furniture, when you are in it, than my outside equipage.
A cunning baggage, a faith thou art, and a wise one too, and to show thee thou hast not chose amiss, I'll this moment disinherit my son, and settle my whole estate upon thee.
Miranda, aside.
There's an old rogue now. No, Guardy, I would not have your name be so black in the world. You know my father's will runs that I am not to possess my estate without your consent till I'm 25. You shall only abate the odd 7 years, and make me mistress of my estate today, and I'll make you master of my person tomorrow.
Humph! Well, that may not be safe. No chargey. I'll settle it upon thee for pin money, and that will be every bit as well, thou knowest.
Miranda, aside.
Unconscionable old wretch, bribe me with my own money. Which way shall I get out of his hands?
Well, what art thou thinking on, my girl? Huh? How to banter Sir George?
Miranda, aside.
I must not pretend to banter. He knows my tongue too well. No, Guardy, I have thought of a way to confound him more than all I could say if I should talk to him 7 years.
How's that? Oh, I'm transported. I'm ravished. I'm mad.
Miranda, aside.
It would make you mad if you knew all. I'll not answer him one word, but be dumb to all he says.
Dumb, good. Ha ha ha! Excellent. Ha ha ha! I think I have you now, Sir George. Dumb, he'll go distracted. Well, she's the wittiest rogue. Ha ha ha! Dumb! I can but laugh, ha ha, to think how damned mad he'll be when he finds he has given his money away for a dumb show, ha ha ha!
Nay, Guardy, if he did but know my thoughts of him, it would make him 10 times madder.
Aye, so it would charge ye to hold him in such derision, to scorn to answer him, to be dumb, ha 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 ha!
Enter Charles.
How now, sirrah, who let you in?
My necessity, sir.
Sir, your necessities are very impertinent, and ought to have sent before they entered.
Sir, I knew 'twas a word would gain admittance nowhere.
Then, sirrah, how durst you rudely thrust that upon your father, which nobody else would admit?
Sure, the name of a son is a sufficient plea. I ask this lady's pardon if I have intruded.
Aye, ask her pardon and her blessing too, if you expect anything from me.
I believe yours, Sir Francis, in a purse of guineas would be more material. Your son may have business with you. I'll retire.
I guess his business, but I'll dispatch him. I expect the knight every minute. He'll be in readiness.
Certainly. My expectation is more upon the wing than yours, old gentleman.
Exit.
Well, sir.
Nay, it is very ill, sir. My circumstances are, I'm sure.
And what's that to me, sir? Your management should have made them better.
If you please to entrust me with the management of my estate, I shall endeavour it, sir.
What to set upon a card, and buy a lady's favour at the price of 1,000 pieces, to rig out an equipage for a wench, or by your carelessness enrich your steward to fine for sheriff, or put up for Parliament man.
I hope I should not spend it this way. However, I ask only for what my uncle left me. Yours you may dispose of as you please, sir.
That I shall, out of your reach, I assure you, sir. Adod, these young fellows think old men get estates for nothing, but them to squander away in dicing, wenching, drinking, dressing, and so forth.
I think I was born a gentleman, sir. I'm sure my uncle bred me like one.
From which you would infer, sir, that gaming, whoring, and the pox are requisites to a gentleman.
Charles, aside.
Monstrous! When I would ask him only for a support, he falls into these unmannerly reproaches. I must, though against my will, employ invention, and by stratagem relieve myself.
Sirrah, what is it you mutter, sirrah, huh?
Holds up his cane.
I say, you shan't have a groat out of my hands till I please, and may be I'll never please, and what's that to you?
Nay, to be robbed, or have one's throat cut, is not much.
What's that, sirrah? Would ye rob me, or cut my throat, ye rogue?
Heaven forbid, sir. I said no such thing.
Mercy on me! What a plague it is to have a son of 21 who wants to elbow one out of one's life, to edge himself into the estate.
Enter Marplot.
Egad, he's here. I was afraid I had lost him. His secret could not be with his father. His wants are public there. Guardian, your servant Charles, I know by that sorrowful countenance of thine. The old man's fist is as close as his strong box, but I'll help thee.
So here's another extravagant coxcomb, that will spend his fortune before he comes to it, but he shall pay swinging interest, and so let the fool go on. Well, what does necessity bring you to, sir?
You have hit it, guardian. I want £100.
For what?
Oh, for 100 things. I can't for my life tell you for what.
Sir, I suppose I've received all the answer I am like to have.
Oh, the devil! If he gets out before me, I shall lose him again.
Aye, sir, and you may be marching as soon as you please. I must see a change in your temper ere you find one in mine.
Pray, sir, dispatch me. The money, sir. I'm in mighty haste.
Fool, take this and go to the cashier. I shan't be long plagued with thee.
Gives him a note.
Devil take the cashier. I shall certainly have Charles gone before I come back again.
Runs out.
Well, sir, I take my leave, but remember you expose an only son to all the miseries of wretched poverty, which too often lays the plan for scenes of mischief.
Stay, Charles, I have a sudden thought come into my head, may prove to thy advantage.
Ha! Does he relent?
My Lady Wrinkle, worth 40,000 sets up for a handsome young husband. She praised thee t'other day, though the matchmakers can get 20 guineas for a sight of her. I can introduce thee for nothing.
My Lady Wrinkles, sir? Why, she has but one eye.
Then she'll see but have your extravagance, sir.
Condemn me to such a piece of deformity, toothless, dirty, wry-necked, hunchbacked hag.
Hunchbacked! So much the better, then she has a rest for her misfortunes, for thou wilt load her swingingly. Now I warrant you think this is no offer of a father. 40,000 pound is nothing with you.
Yes, sir, I think it is too much. A young beautiful woman with half the money would be more agreeable. I thank you, sir, but you chose better for yourself, I find.
Out of my doors, you dog! You pretend to meddle with my marriage, sirrah.
I obey, but...
But me no buts. Begone, sir. Dare to ask me for money again? Refuse 40,000 pound? Out of my doors, I say, without reply.
Exit Charles. Enter servant.
One Sir George Airy inquires for you, sir.
Enter Marplot, running.
Ah, gone? Is Charles gone, guardian?
Yes, and I desire your wise worship to walk after him.
Nay, egad, I shall run. I tell you but that. Pox for the cashier for detaining me so long. Where the devil shall I find him now? I shall certainly lose this secret.
Exit hastily.
What is the fellow distracted? Desires Sir George to walk up? Now for a trial of skill that will make me happy and him a fool. Ha ha ha! In my mind, he looks like an ass already.
Enter Sir George.
Well, Sir George, do ye hold in the same mind, or would you capitulate? Ha ha ha! Look, here are the guineas.
Chinks them.
Ha 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 ha!
Not if they were twice the sum, Sir Francis. Therefore be brief. Call in the lady, and take your post.
Aside.
If she is a woman, and not seduced by witchcraft to this old rogue, I'll make his heart ache. For if she has put but one grain of inclination about her, I'll vary 1,000 shapes, but find it.
Enter Miranda.
Agreed. Miranda. There, Sir George, try your fortune.
Takes out his watch.
So, from the eastern chambers breaks the sun, dispels the clouds, and gilds the vales below.
Salutes her.
Hold, sir, kissing was not in our agreement.
Oh, that's by way of prologue. Prithee, old Mammon, to thy post.
Well, young Timon, 'tis now 4 exactly. 1 hour, remember, is your utmost limit, not a minute more.
Retires to the bottom of the stage.
Madam, whether you will excuse or blame my love, the author of this rash proceeding depends upon your pleasure, as also the life of your admirer. Your sparkling eyes speak a heart susceptible of love, your vivacity a soul too delicate to admit the embraces of decayed mortality.
Miranda, aside.
Oh, that I durst speak.
Shake off this tyrant guardian's yoke, assume yourself, and dash his bold aspiring hopes. The deity of his desires is avarice, a heretic in love, and ought to be banished by the Queen of Beauty. See, madam, a faithful servant kneels and begs to be admitted in the number of your slaves.
Miranda gives him her hand to raise him.
I wish I could hear what he says now.
Running up.
Hold. No palming, that's contrary to articles.
Death, sir, keep your distance, or I'll write another article in your guts.
Lays his hand to his sword. Sir Francis going back.
A bloody-minded fellow.
Not answer me? Perhaps she thinks my address too grave. I'll be more free. Can you be so unconscionable, madam, to let me say all these fine things to you without one single compliment in return? View me well. Am I not a proper, handsome fellow, ha? Can you prefer that old, dry, withered, sapless log of 65? to the vigorous, gay, sprightly love of 24. With snoring only he'll awake thee, but I, with ravishing delight, would make thy senses dance in consort with the joyful minutes. Ha! Not yet? Sure she is dumb. Thus would I steal and touch thy beauteous hand,
Takes hold of her hand.
till by degrees I reached thy snowy breasts, then ravish kisses thus.
Embraces her in ecstasy. Miranda struggles and flings from him. Aside.
Oh, heavens! I shall not be able to contain myself.
Sir Francis, running up his watch in his hand.
Sure she did not speak to him. There's 3/4 of the hour gone, Sir George. Adad, I don't like those close conferences.
More interruptions. You'll have it, sir.
Lays his hand to his sword. Sir Francis, going back. Aside.
No, you shan't have her neither.
Dumb still. Sure this old dog has enjoyed her silence. I'll try another way. I must conclude, madam, that in compliance to your guardian's humour, you refuse to answer me. Consider the injustice of his injunction. This single hour cost me £100, and who'd you answer me? I could purchase the 24. So, however, madam, you must give me leave to make the best interpretation I can for my money, and take the indication of your silence for the secret liking of my person. Therefore, madam, I will instruct you how to keep your word inviolate to Sir Francis, and yet answer me to every question. As for example, when I ask anything to which you would reply in the affirmative, gently nod your head, thus, and when in the negative, thus.
Shakes his head.
And in the doubtful, a tender sigh, thus.
Miranda, aside.
How every action charms me, but I'll fit him for signs, I warrant him.
Sir Francis, aside.
Ha 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 ha, poor Sir George, ha 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 ha.
Was it by his desire that you are dumb, madam, to all that I can say?
Miranda nods.
Very well. She's tractable, I find. And is it possible that you can love him?
Miranda nods.
Miraculous! Pardon the bluntness of my questions, for my time is short. May I not hope to supplant him in your esteem?
Miranda sighs.
Good. She answers me as I could wish. You will not consent to marry him, then?
Miranda sighs.
How doubtful in that. Undone again. But that may proceed from his power to keep her out of her estate till 25. I'll try that. Come, madam, I cannot think you hesitate in this affair out of any motive but your fortune. Let him keep it till those few years are expired. Make me happy with your person. Let him enjoy your wealth.
Miranda holds up her hands.
Why, what sign is that now? Nay, madam, except you observe my lesson, I can't understand your meaning.
What a vengeance! Are they talking by signs? And I may be fooled here. What do you mean, Sir George?
To cut your throat if you dare mutter another syllable.
Odd, I wish you were fairly out of my house.
Pray, madam, will you answer me to the purpose?
Miranda shakes her head and points to Sir Francis.
What? Does she mean she won't answer me to the purpose? Or is she afraid yon old cuff should understand her signs? Aye, it must be that. I perceive, madam, that you are too apprehensive of the promise you have made to follow my rules. Therefore I'll suppose your mind and answer for you. First, For myself, madam, that I am in love with you is an infallible truth. Now for you.
Turns on her side.
Indeed, sir, and may I believe it? As certainly, madam, as that 'tis daylight, or that I die if you persist in silence. Bless me with the music of your voice, and raise my spirits to their proper heaven. Thus low let me entreat, ere I'm obliged to quit this place. Grant me some token of a favourable reception to keep my hopes alive.
Arises hastily, turns of her side.
Rise, sir, and since my guardian's presence will not allow me privilege of tongue, read that, and rest assured you are not indifferent to me.
Offers her a letter.
Ha! Right woman.
She strikes it down.
But no matter. I'll go on.
Huh? What's that, a letter? Ha ha ha! Thou art balked.
Miranda aside.
The best assurance I ever saw.
Ha! A letter? Oh, let me kiss it with the same raptures that I would do the dear hand that touched it.
Opens it.
Now for a quick fancy in a long extempore. What's here?
Reads.
Dear Sir George, this virgin muse I consecrate to you, which when it has received the addition of your voice, 'twill charm me into desire of liberty to love, which you, and only you, can fix. My angel! Oh, you transport me!
Kisses the letter.
And see the power of your command. The God of love has set the verse already. The flowing numbers dance into a tune, and I'm inspired with a voice to sing it.
Miranda aside.
I'm sure thou art inspired with impudence enough.
Sir George sings.
Great love inspire him. Say, I admire him. Give me the lover that can discover secret devotion from silent motion. Then don't betray me, but hence convey me.
Taking hold of Miranda.
With all my heart, this moment let's retire.
Sir Francis coming up hastily.
The hour is expired, sir, and you must take your leave. There, my girl, there's the £100 which thou hast won. Go. I'll be with you presently. Ha 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 ha.
Exit Miranda.
At heart, madam, you won't leave me just in the nick, will you?
Ha ha ha! She has nicked you, Sir George, I think. Ha ha ha! Have you any more £100 to throw away upon courtship? Ha ha ha!
He, curse of your fleering jests! Yet, however I'll succeed, I'll venture the same wager. She does not value thee a spoonful of snuff. Nay, more, though you enjoyed her silence to me, you'll never make her speak to the purpose with yourself.
Ha 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 ha! Did I not tell thee thou wouldst repent thy money? Did I not say she hated young fellows? Ha ha ha!
And I'm positive she's not in love with age.
Ha ha! No matter for that. Ha ha! She's not taken with your youth nor your rhetoric to boot. Ha ha ha!
Whate'er her reason are for disliking me, I am certain that she can be taken with nothing about thee.
Ha 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 ha! How he swells with envy! Poor man, poor man! Ha ha ha! I must beg your pardon, Sir George. Miranda will be impatient to have her share of mirth. Verily, we shall laugh at thee most egregiously. Ha 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 ha!
With all my heart, faith, I shall laugh in my turn too. For if you dare marry her old Beelzebub, you would be cuckolded most egregiously. Remember that, and tremble. She that to age her beauteous self resigns, shows witty management for close designs. Then if thou art graced with fair Miranda's bed, Acton's horn, she means, shall crown thy head.
Exit.
Ha ha ha! He is mad! These fluttering fops imagine they can wind, turn, and decoy to love all womankind. But here's a proof of wisdom in my charge. Old men are constant, young men live at large. The frugal hand can bills at sight defray, when he that lavish is has naught to pay.
Exit. Scene changes to Sir Gellas Traffic's house. Enter Sir Gellas, Isabinder, Patch following.
What? In the balcony again? Notwithstanding my positive commands to the contrary? Why don't you write a bill upon your forehead to show passengers there's something to be let?
What harm can there be in a little fresh air, sir?
Is your constitution so hot, mistress, that it wants cooling, huh? Apply the virtuous Spanish rules. Banish your taste and thoughts of flesh. Feed upon roots and quench your thirst with water.
That and a close room would certainly make me die of the vapours.
No, mistress, 'tis your high-fed, lusty, rambling, rampant ladies that are troubled with the vapours. 'Tis your ratifia, persico, cinnamon, citron, and spirit of clary cause such swimming in the brain that carries many a guinea full time to the doctor. But you are not to be bred this way. No galloping abroad, no receiving visits at home. For in our loose country the women are as dangerous as the men.
So I told her, sir, and that it was not decent to be seen in a balcony, but she threatened to slap my chaps and told me I was her servant, not her governess.
Did she so? But I'll make her to know that you are her duenna. Oh, that incomparable custom of Spain! Why, here's no depending upon old women in my country, for they are as wanton at 80 as a girl at 18. And a man may as safely trust to Asgill's translation as to his great-grandmother's not marrying again.
Or to the Spanish ladies' veils and duennas for the safeguard of their honour.
Dare to ridicule the cautious conduct of that wise nation, and I'll have you locked up this fortnight without a peep-hole.
If we had but the ghostly helps in England which they have in Spain, I might deceive you if you did. Sir, 'tis not the restraint, but the innate principles secures the reputation and honour of our sex. Let me tell you, sir, confinement sharpens the invention, as want of sight strengthens the other senses, and is often more pernicious than the recreation innocent liberty allows.
Say you so, mistress? Who the devil taught you the art of reasoning? I assure you, they must have a greater faith than I pretend to that can think any woman innocent who requires liberty. Therefore, Patch, to your charge I give her. Lock her up till I come back from change. I shall have some sauntering coxcomb with nothing but a red coat and a feather think by leaping into her arms to leap into my estate. But I'll prevent them, she shall be only Signor Barbinetto's.
Really, sir, I wish you would employ anybody else in this affair. I lead a life like a dog with obeying your commands. Come, madam, will you please to be locked up?
Isabella aside.
Ay, to enjoy more freedom than he is aware of.
Exit with Patch.
I believe that this wench is very true to my interest. I am happy I met with her, if I can but keep my daughter from being blown upon till Signor Babinetto arrives, who shall marry her as soon as he comes, and carry her to Spain as soon as he has married her. She has a pregnant wit, and I'd no more have her an English wife than the Grand Seigneur's mistress.
Exit. Enter Whisper.
So I see Sir Jealous go out. Where shall I find Mrs. Patch now?
Enter Patch.
Oh, Mr. Whisper, my lady saw you out at the window and ordered me to bid you fly and let your master know she's now alone.
Hush, speak softly. I go. But hark, Mrs. Patch, shall not you and I have a little confabulation when my master and your lady is engaged?
Aye, farewell.
Goes in and shuts the door. Re-enter Sir Jealous Traffic, meeting Whisper.
Sure, whilst I was talking with Mr. Treadwell, I heard my door clap.
Seeing Whisper.
Ah, a man lurking about my house. Who do you want there, sir?
Want?
Aside.
Want a pox. Sir Jealous, what must I say now?
I want... Have you a letter or message for anybody there? Oh, my conscience, this is some he-bald.
Letter or message, sir?
Aye, letter or message, sir?
No, not I, sir.
Sirrah, I'll have you set in the stocks if you don't tell me your business immediately.
Nay, sir, my business is no great matter of business neither, and yet 'tis business of consequence too.
Sirrah, don't trifle with me.
Trifle, sir? Have you found him, sir?
Found what, you rascal?
Why, Trifle is the very lapdog my lady lost, sir. I fancied I see him run into this house. I'm glad you have him. Sir, my lady will be overjoyed that I have found him.
Who is your lady friend?
My lady Love Puppy, sir.
My lady Love Puppy? Then prithee carry thyself to her, for I know no other whelp that belongs to her. And let me catch ye no more puppy hunting about my doors, lest I have you pressed into the service, sirrah.
By no means, sir. Your humble servant. I must watch whether he goes or no before I can tell my master.
Exit.
This fellow has the officious leer of a pimp, and I half suspect a design, but I'll be upon them before they think on me, I warrant 'em.
Exit. Scene, Charles's lodging. Enter Charles and Marplot.
Honest Marplot, I thank thee for this supply. I expect my lawyer with £1,000 I've ordered him to take up, and then you shall be repaid.
Phoo, no more of that. Here comes Sir George Airy.
Enter Sir George.
Cursedly out of humour at his disappointment. See how he looks. Ha ha ha!
Ah, Charles, I am so humbled in my pretensions to plots upon women, that I believe I shall never have courage enough to attempt a chambermaid again, I'll tell thee.
Ha ha! I'll spare you the relation by telling you. Impatient to know your business with my father, when I saw you enter, I slipped back into the next room, where I overheard every syllable.
That I said. but I'll be hanged if you heard her answer. But prithee, tell me, Charles, is she a fool?
I ne'er suspected her for one, but Marplot can inform you better, if you'll allow him a judge.
A fool! I'll justify she has more wit than all the rest of her sex put together. Why, she'll rally me, till I hain't one word to say for myself.
A mighty proof of her wit, truly.
There must be some trick in it, Sir George. Egad, I'll find it out if it cost me the sum you paid for it.
Do, and command me.
Enough. Let me alone to trace a secret.
Enter Whisper, and speaks aside to his master.
The devil! Whisper here again. That fellow never speaks out. Is this the same, or a new secret? Sir George, won't you ask Charles what news Whisper brings?
Not I, sir. I suppose it does not relate to me.
Lord, Lord, how little curiosity some people have! Now my chief pleasure lies in knowing everybody's business.
I fancy, Charles, thou hast some engagement upon thy hands. I have a little business too, Marplot. If it falls in your way to bring me any intelligence from Miranda, you'll find me at the thatched house at 6.
You do me much honour.
You guess right, Sir George. Wish me success.
Better than attended me. Adieu.
Exit.
Marplot, you must excuse me.
Nay, nay. What need of any excuse amongst friends? I'll go with you.
Indeed you must not.
No? Then I suppose 'tis a duel, and I will go to secure ye.
Secure me. Why, you won't fight.
What then? I can call people to part ye.
Well, but it is no duel, consequently no danger. Therefore, prithee be answered.
What? Is't a mistress, then? You know I can be silent upon occasion.
I wish you could be civil too. I tell you, you neither must nor shall go with me. Farewell.
Exit.
Why then, I must and will follow you.
Exit. End of Act 2. Act 3 of The Busybody by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act the 3rd. Enter Charles.
Well, here's the house which holds the lovely prize, quiet and serene. Here no noisy footmen throng to tell the world that beauty dwells within. No ceremonious visit makes the lover wait, no rival to give my heart a pang. Who would not scale the window at midnight without fear of the jealous father's pistol, rather than fill up the train of a coquette, where every minute he is jostled out of place?
Knock softly.
Mrs. Patch, Mrs. Patch.
Enter Patch.
Oh, are you come, sir? All safe.
So in then?
Enter Marplot.
There he goes. Who the devil lives here? Except I can find out that, I am as far from knowing his business as ever. Gad, I'll watch. It may be a bawdy house, and he may have his throat cut. If there should be any mischief, I can make oath he went in. Well, Charles, in spite of your endeavour to keep me out of the secret, I may save your life for aught I know. At that corner I'll plant myself. There I shall see whoever goes in, or comes out. Gad, I love discoveries.
Exit. Scene draws. Charles, Isabinder, and Patch.
Patch, look out sharp. Have a care of Dad.
I warned you.
Exit.
Well, sir, if I may judge your love by your courage, I ought to believe you sincere, for you venture into the lion's den when you come to see me.
If you'd consent, whilst the furious beast is abroad, I'd free you from the reach of his paws.
That would be but to avoid one danger by running into another, like the poor wretches who fly the burning ship and meet their fate in the water. Come, come, Charles, I fear if I consult my reason, confinement and plenty is better than liberty and starving. I know you'd make the frolic pleasing for a little time, by saying and doing a world of tender things. But when our small substance is once exhausted, and 1,000 requisites for life are wanting, love, who rarely dwells with poverty, would also fail us.
Faith, I fancy not. Methinks my heart is laid up a stock will last for life, to back which I've taken £1,000 upon my uncle's estate, that surely will support us till one of our fathers relent.
There's no trusting to that, my friend. I doubt your father will carry his humour to the grave, and mine till he sees me settled in Spain.
And can ye then cruelly resolve to stay till that cursed Don arrives, and suffer that youth, beauty, fire, and wit to be sacrificed to the arms of a dull Spaniard, to be immured and forbid the sight of anything that's humane?
No, when it comes to the extremity, and no stratagem can relieve us, thou shalt list for a soldier, and I'll carry thy knapsack after thee.
Bravely resolved. The world cannot be more savage than our parents, and fortune generally assists the bold. Therefore consent now. Why should we put it to a future hazard? Who knows when we shall have another opportunity?
Oh, you have your ladder of ropes, I suppose, and the closet window stands just where it did. And if you hadn't forgot to write in characters, Patch will find a way for our assignations. Thus much of the Spanish contrivance my father's severity has taught me, I thank him. Though I hate the nation, I admire their management in these affairs.
Enter Patch.
Oh, madam, I see my master coming up the street.
Oh, the devil! Would I had my ladder now! I thought you had not expected him till night. Why, what shall I do, madam?
Oh, for heaven's sake, don't go that way. You'll meet him full in the teeth. Oh, unlucky moment.
Ad's heart, can you shut me into no cupboard, ram me into no chest, Ta?
Impossible, sir. He searches every hole in the house.
Undone forever. If he sees you, I shall never see you more.
I have thought on it. Run you to your chamber, madam, and, sir, come you along with me. I'm certain you may easily get down from the balcony.
My life, adieu. Lead on, guide.
Exit.
Heaven preserve him.
Exit. Scene changes to the street. Enter Sergelus with Marplo behind him.
I don't know what's the matter, but I have a strong suspicion all is not right within. That fellow's sauntering about my door, and his tail of a puppy had the face of a lie, methought. By Santiago, if I should find a man in the house, I'd make mincemeat of him.
Ah, poor Charles, huh? Egad, he is old. I fancy I might bully him, and make Charles have an opinion of my courage.
My own key shall let me in. I'll give them no warning.
Feeling for his key. Marplo going up to Sergelus.
What's that you say, sir?
Sergelus turns quick upon him.
What's that to you, sir?
Why, 'tis to me, sir. For the gentleman you threaten is a very honest gentleman. Look to it, for if he comes not as safe out of your house as he went in, I have 6 myrmidons hard by that shall beat it about your ears.
Went in? What is he in then? Ah, a combination to undo me. I'll myrmidon you, you dog you. Thieves! Thieves!
Beats Marplow. All this while he cries, "Thieves!"
Murder! Murder! I was not in your house, sir.
Enter servant.
What's the matter, sir?
The matter, rascals? Have you let a man into my house? But I'll flea him alive. Follow me. I'll not leave a mouse hole unsearched. If I find him, by Santiago, I'll equip him for the opera.
Exit.
A deuce of his cane. There's no trusting to age. What shall I do to relieve Charles? Egad, I'll raise the neighbourhood. Murder! Murder!
Charles drops down upon him from the balcony.
Charles, faith, I'm glad to see thee safe out with all my heart.
A pox of your bawling! How the devil came you here?
Here, gad, I have done you a piece of service. I told the old thunderbolt that the gentleman that was gone in was...
Was it you that told him, sir?
Laying hold of him.
'Sdeath, I could crush thee into atoms.
Exit Charles.
What, will you choke me for my kindness? Will my inquiring soul never leave searching into other people's affairs till it gets squeezed out of my body? I dare not follow him now, for my blood he's in such a passion. I'll go to Miranda, and if I can discover aught that may oblige Sir George, it may be a means to reconcile me again to Charles.
Exit. Enter Sir Jealous and servants.
Are you sure you have searched everywhere?
Yes, from the top of the house to the bottom.
Under the beds? Over the beds?
Yes, and in them too, but found no body, sir.
Why, what could this rogue mean?
Enter Isabinder and Patch. Patch, aside to Isabinder.
Take courage, madam. I saw him safe out.
Bless me! What's the matter, sir?
You know best. Pray, where's the man that was here just now?
What man, sir? I saw none.
Nor I, by the trust you repose in me. Do you think I would let a man come within these doors when you were absent?
Ah, Patch, she may be too cunning for thy honesty. The very scout that he had set to give warning discovered it to me, and threatened me with 6 myrmidons. But I think I mauled the villain. These afflictions you draw upon me, mistress.
Pardon me, sir. 'Tis your own ridiculous humour draws you into these vexations, and gives every fool pretence to banter you.
No, 'tis your idle conduct, your coquettish flirting into the balcony. Oh, with what joy shall I resign thee into the arms of Don Diego Babinetto?
Isabinder aside.
And with what industry shall I avoid him?
Certainly that rogue had a message from somebody or other, but being balked by my coming, popped that sham upon me. Come along, ye sots, let's see if we can find the dog again. Patch, lock her up, do you hear?
Exit with servants.
Yes, sir. Aye, walk till your heels ache. You'll find nobody, I promise you.
Who could that scout be which he talks of?
Nay, I can't imagine. Without it was whisper.
Well, dear Patch, let's employ all our thoughts how to escape this horrid Don Diego. My very heart sinks at his terrible name.
Fear not, madam. Don Carlos shall be the man, or I'll lose the reputation of contriving, And then, what's a chambermaid good for?
Say'st thou so, my girl? Then let Dad be jealous, multiply his cares, while love instructs me to avoid the snares. I'll, spite of all his Spanish caution, show how much for love a British maid can do.
Exit. Scene: Sir Francis Gripe's house. Sir Francis and Miranda meeting.
Well, Guardy, how did I perform my dumb scene?
To admiration, thou dear little rogue, let me bust thee for it. Nay, adod, I will charge thee, so muzzle and tuzzle and hug thee. I will, I faith, I will.
Hugging and kissing her.
Nay, Guardy, don't be so lavish. Who would ride post when the journey lasts for life?
Wag, I'll bust thee again for that.
Miranda aside.
Faugh, how he stinks of tobacco. What a delicate bedfellow I should have.
Oh, I'm transported. When, my dear, wilt thou convince the world of thy happy day? When shall we marry, huh?
There's nothing wanting but your consent, Sir Francis.
My consent? What does my charmer mean?
Nay, 'tis only a whim, but I'll have everything according to form. Therefore, when you sign an authentic paper, drawn up by an able lawyer, that I have your leave to marry, the next day makes me yours, Guardy.
A whim indeed. Why is it not demonstration I give my leave when I marry thee?
Not for your reputation, Guardy. The malicious world will be apt to say you tricked me into marriage, and so take the merit from my choice. Now I will have the act my own, to let the idle fops see how much I prefer a man loaded with years and wisdom.
Prithee, leave out years, chargee. I'm not so old as thou shalt find. Adod, I'm young. There's a caper for ye.
Jumps.
Oh, never excuse it. Why, I like you the better for being old. But I shall suspect you don't love me if you refuse me this formality.
Not love thee, chargee. Adod, I do love thee better than, what shall I say? Egad, better than money, I faith I do.
Miranda aside.
That's false, I'm sure. To prove it, do this, then.
Well, I will do it, chargee, provided I bring a license at the same time.
Aye, and a parson, too, if you please. I can't help laughing to think how all the young coxcombs about town will be mortified when they hear of our marriage.
So they will, ha 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 ha.
Well, I fancy I shall be so happy with my Guardy.
If wearing pearls and jewels, or eating gold, as the old saying is, can make thee happy, thou shalt be so, my sweetest, my lovely, my charming, my... Verily, I know not what to call thee.
You must know, Guardy, that I am so eager to have this business concluded that I've employed my woman's brother, who is a lawyer in the Temple, to settle matters just to your liking. You are to give your consent to my marriage, which is to yourself, you know. But, Mum, you must take up notice of that. So then I will, that is, with your leave, put my writings into his hands. Then tomorrow we come slap upon them with a wedding that nobody thought on, by which you seize me and my estate, and I suppose make a bonfire of your own act and deed.
Nay, but chargee, if...
Nay, Guardy, no ifs. Have I refused 3 northern lords, 2 British peers, and 50 knights to have you put in your ifs?
So thou hast indeed, and I will trust to thy management. And I'm all of a fire.
'Tis a wonder the dry stubble does not blaze.
Enter Marplow.
How now? Who sent for you, sir? What's the £100 gone already?
No, sir, I don't want money now.
No, that's a miracle. But there's one thing you want, I'm sure.
Aye, what's that, guardian?
Manners! What, had I no servants without?
None that could do my business, guardian, which is at present with this lady.
With me, Mr. Marplot? What is it, I beseech you?
Aye, sir, what is it? Anything that relates to her may be delivered to me.
I deny that.
That's more than I do, sir.
Indeed, madam, why then to proceed? Fame says that you and my most conscionable guardian here designed, contrived, plotted, and agreed to choose a very civil, honourable, honest gentleman out of £100.
That I contrived it.
Ay, you. You never said a word against it. So far you are guilty.
Pray tell that civil, honourable, honest gentleman that if he has any more such sums to fool away, they shall be received like the last. Ha 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 ha! Choust, quotha! But harkye, let him know at the same time that if he dare to report I tricked him of it, I shall recommend a lawyer to him, shall show him a trick for twice as much. D'ye hear? Tell him that.
So, and this is the way you use a gentleman and your friend?
Is the wretch thy friend?
The wretch? Look ye, madam, don't call names. Egad, I won't take it.
Why, you won't beat me, will you?
I don't know whether I will or no.
Sir, I shall make a servant show you out at the window if you are saucy.
I am your most humble servant, guardian. I design to go out the same way I came in. I would only ask this lady if she do not think in her soul Sir George Airy is not a fine gentleman.
He dresses well.
Which is chiefly owing to his tailor and valet de chamber.
And if you allow that a proof of his being a fine gentleman, he is so.
The judicious part of the world allow him wit, courage, gallantry, and management, though I think he forfeited that character when he flung away £100 upon your dumb ladyship.
Does that gall him? Ha ha ha!
So, Sir George, remaining in deep discontent, has sent you, his trusty squire, to utter his complaint?
Yes, madam, and you, like a cruel hard-hearted Jew, value it no more than I would your ladyship, were I Sir George. You...
Oh, don't call names. I know you love to be employed, and I'll oblige you, and you shall carry him a message from me.
According as I like it. What is it?
Nay, a kind one, you may be sure. First tell him I have chose this gentleman to have and to hold, and so forth.
Clapping her hand into Sir Francis's. Sir Francis aside.
Oh, the dear rogue, how I dote on her.
And advise his impertinence to trouble me no more, for I prefer Sir Francis for a husband before all the fops in the universe.
Oh, Lord! Oh, Lord! She's bewitched, that's certain. Here's a husband for 18. Here's a shape. Here's bones rattling in a leathern bag.
Turning Sir Francis about.
Here's buckram and canvas to scrub you to repentance.
Sirrah, my cane shall teach you repentance presently.
No, faith, I have felt its twin brother from just such a withered hand too lately.
One thing more. Advise him to keep from the garden gate on the left hand, for if he dares to saunter there about the hour of 8, as he used to do, he shall be saluted with a pistol or a blunderbuss.
Oh, monstrous! Why, charge ye, did he use to come to the garden gate?
The gardener described just such another man that always watched his coming out, and fain would have bribed him for his entrance. Tell him he shall find a warm reception if he comes this night.
Pistols and blunderbusses! Egad, a warm reception indeed! I shall take care to inform him of your kindness, and advise him to keep further off.
Miranda aside.
I hope he will understand my meaning better than to follow your advice.
Thou hast signed, sealed, and taken possession of my heart forever, Chargy. And for you, Mr. Saucebox, let me have no more of your messages if ever you design to inherit your estate, gentlemen.
Why, there 'tis now. Sure I may be out of your clutches one day. Well, guardian, I say no more. But if you be not as arrant a cuckold as e'er drove bargain upon the exchange, or paid attendance to a court, I am the son of a whetstone, and so your humble servant.
Exit.
Don't forget the message.
I am so provoked. 'Tis well he's gone.
Oh, mind him not, Guardy. But let's sign the articles, and then...
And then, Dot, I believe I am metamorphosed. My pulse beats high, and my blood boils, methinks.
Kissing and hugging her.
Oh, fie, Guardy, be not so violent. Consider the market lasts all the year. Well, I'll in and see if the lawyer be come. You follow.
Exit.
Aye, to the world's end, my dear. Well, Frank, thou art a lucky fellow in thy old age, to have such a delicate morsel, and 30,000 pound in love with thee. I shall be the envy of bachelors, the glory of married men, and the wonder of the town. Some guardians would be glad to compound for part of the estate at dispatching an heiress, but I engross the whole. Oh, mihi praetoritos referetsi Jupiter annos.
Exit. Scene changes to a tavern, discovers Sir George and Charles with wine before them, and Whisper waiting.
Nay, prithee don't be grave, Charles. Misfortunes will happen. 'Tis some comfort to have a companion in our sufferings.
I am only apprehensive for Isabinda. Her father's humour is implacable, and how far his jealousy may transport him to her undoing shocks my soul to think.
But since you escaped undiscovered by him, his rage will quickly lash into a calm. Never fear it.
But who knows what that unlucky dog Marplot told him, nor can I imagine what brought him thither. That fellow is ever doing mischief, and yet, to give him his due, he never designs it. This is some blundering adventure, wherein he thought to show his friendship, as he calls it. A curse on him.
Then you must forgive him. What said he?
Said? Nay, I had more mind to cut his throat than hear his excuses.
Where is he?
Sir, I saw him go into Sir Francis Gripe's just now.
Oh, then he is upon your business, Sir George, 1,000 to 1, but he makes some mistake there, too.
Impossible. Without he huffs the lady, and makes love to Sir Francis?
Enter Drawer.
Mr. Marplot is below, gentlemen, and desires to know if he may have leave to wait upon ye.
How civil the rogue is when he has done a fault.
Ho, desire him to walk up. Prithee, Charles, throw off this shagreen, and be good company.
Nay, hang him. I'm not angry with him. Whisper, fetch me pen, ink, and paper.
Yes, sir.
Exit Whisper. Enter Marplow.
Do but mark his sheepish look, Sir George.
Dear Charles, don't overwhelm a man, already under insupportable affliction. I'm sure I always intend to serve my friends, but if my malicious stars deny the happiness, is the fault mine?
Never mind him, Mr. Marplot. He's eat up with spleen. But tell me, what says Miranda?
Says, nay, we are all undone there, too.
I told you so. Nothing prospers that he undertakes.
Why can I help her, having choose your father, for better, for worse?
So there's another of fortune's strokes. I suppose I shall be edged out of my estate, with twins every year, let who will get 'em.
What is the woman really possessed?
Yes, with a spirit of contradiction. She railed at you most prodigiously.
That's no ill sign.
Enter Whisper with pen, ink, and paper.
You'd say it was no good sign if you knew all.
Why, prithee?
Harkee, Sir George, let me warn you, pursue your old haunt no more. It may be dangerous.
Charles sits down to write.
My old haunt? What do you mean?
Why, in short, then, since you will have it, Miranda vows if you dare approach the garden gate at 8 o'clock, as you used, you shall be saluted with a blunderbuss, sir. Those were her words. Nay, she bid me to tell you so too.
Ha! The garden gate at 8, as I used to do? There must be a meaning in this. Is there such a gate, Charles?
Yes, yes, it opens into the park. I suppose her ladyship has made many a scamper through it.
It must be an assignation, then. Ah, my heart springs with joy. 'Tis a propitious omen. My dear Marplot, let me embrace thee. Thou art my friend, my better angel.
What do you mean, Sir George?
No matter what I mean. Here, take a bumper to the garden gate, you dear rogue, you.
You have reason to be transported, Sir George. I have saved your life.
My life? Thou hast saved my soul, man. Charles, if thou doest not pledge this health, mayst thou never taste the joys of love.
Whisper, be sure to take care how you deliver this.
Gives him the letter.
Bring me the answer to my lodgings.
I warrant you, sir.
Exit.
Whither does that letter go? Now dare I not ask for my blood.
Now I'm for you.
To the garden gate at the hour of 8. Charles, along, huzzah!
I begin to conceive you.
That's more than I do, egad. To the garden gate, huzzah!
Drinks.
But I hope you design to keep far enough off on't, Sir George.
Ay, never fear that. She shall see I despise her frowns. Let her use her blunderbuss against the next fool. She shan't reach me with the smoke, I warrant her. Ha, 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 ha.
Ah, Charles, if you could receive a disappointment thus on cavalier, one should have some comfort in being beat for you.
The fool comprehends nothing.
Nor would I have him. Prithee, take him along with thee.
Enough. Marplot, you shall go home with me.
I'm glad I'm well with him, however. Sir George, yours. Egad, Charles, asking me to go home with him gives me a shrewd suspicion that there's more in the garden gate than I comprehend. Faith, I'll give him the drop, and away to guardians, and find it out.
I kiss both your hands, and now for the garden gate. Its beauty gives the assignation there, and love too powerful grows to admit of fear.
Exit. End of Act 3. Act 4 of The Busybody by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act the 4th. Scene: the outside of Sir Jealous Traffic's house, Patch peeping out of door. Enter Whisper.
Ha, Mrs. Patch, this is a lucky minute to find you so readily. My master dies with impatience.
My lady imagined so, and by her orders I have been scouting this hour in search of you, to inform you that Sir Jealous has invited some friends to supper with him tonight, which gives an opportunity to your master to make use of his ladder of ropes. The closet window shall be open, and Isabinda ready to receive him. Bid him come immediately.
Excellent. He'll not disappoint, I warrant him. But hold, I have a letter here, which I am to carry an answer of. I can't think what language the direction is.
Pho, 'tis no language, but a character which the lovers invented to avert discovery. Ha! I hear my old master coming downstairs. It is impossible you should have an answer. Away, and bid him come himself for that. Begone, we are ruined if you're seen, for he has doubled his care since the last accident.
I go.
Exit.
There, go thou into my pocket.
Puts it besides, and it falls down.
Now I'll up the back stairs, lest I meet him. Well, A dexterous chambermaid is the lady's best utensil, I say.
Exit. Enter Sir Jealous with a letter in his hand.
So, this is some comfort. This tells me that Signor Don Diego Babinetto is safely arrived. He shall marry my daughter the minute he comes. Ah, what's here?
Takes up the letter Patch dropped.
A letter. I don't know what to make of the superscription. I'll see what's within inside.
Opens it.
'Tis Hebrew, I think. What can this mean? There must be some trick in it. This was certainly designed for my daughter, but I don't know that she can speak any language but her mother tongue. No matter for that, this may be one of love's hieroglyphics, and I fancy I saw Patch's tail sweep by. That wench may be a slut, and instead of guarding my honour, betray it. I'll find it out, I'm resolved. Who's there? What answer did you bring from the gentleman I sent you to invite?
That they'd all wait of you, sir, as I told you before, but I suppose you forget, sir.
Did I so, sir? But I shan't forget to break your head if any of 'em come, sir.
Come, sir, why did you not send me to desire their company, sir?
But I send you now to desire their absence. Say I have something extraordinary fallen out which calls me abroad, contrary to expectation, and ask their pardon, and, d'ye hear, send the butler to me.
Yes, sir.
Exit.
If this paper has a meaning, I'll find it.
Enter butler.
Lay the cloth in my daughter's chamber, and bid the cook send supper thither presently.
Yes, sir. Heyday, what's the matter now?
Exit.
He wants the eyes of Argus that has a young handsome daughter in this town. But my comfort is, I shall not be troubled long with her. He that pretends to rule a girl once in her teens had better be at sea in a storm, and would be in less danger. For let him do or counsel all he can, she thinks and dreams of nothing else but man.
Exit. Scene is a binder's chamber. Is a binder and Patch.
Are you sure nobody saw you speak to Whisper?
Yes, very sure, madam, but I heard Sir Jealous coming downstairs, so I clapped this letter into my pocket.
Feels for the letter.
A letter? Give it me quickly.
Bless me, what's become on it? I'm sure I put it.
Searching still.
Is it possible? Thou couldst be so careless. Oh, I'm undone forever if it be lost.
I must have dropped it upon the stairs. But why are you so much alarmed? If the worst happens, nobody can read it, madam, nor find out whom it was designed for.
If it falls into my father's hands, the very figure of a letter will produce ill consequences. Run and look for it upon the stairs this moment.
Nay, I'm sure it can be nowhere else.
As she's going out the door, meets the butler.
How now? What do you want?
My master ordered me to lay the cloth here for his supper.
Is a binder aside.
Ruin past redemption.
You mistake, sure. What shall we do?
I thought he expected company tonight. Oh, poor Charles! Oh, unfortunate Isabinda!
I thought so too, madam, but I suppose he has altered his mind.
Lays the cloth and exit.
The letter is the cause. This heedless action has undone me. Fly and fasten the closet window, which will give Charles notice to retire. Ha, my father! Oh, confusion!
Enter Sir Jealous.
Hold, Patch. Whither are you going? I'll have nobody stir out of the room till after supper.
Sir, I was only going to reach your easy-chair. Oh, wretched accident.
I'll have nobody stir out of the room. I don't want my easy-chair.
Is a binder aside.
What will be the event of this?
Harkee, daughter, do you know this hand?
As I suspected. Hand, do you call it, sir? 'Tis some schoolboy's scrawl.
Patch aside.
Oh, invention, thou chambermaid's best friend, assist me.
Are you sure you don't understand it?
Patch feels in her bosom and shakes her coats.
Do you understand it, sir?
I wish I did.
Is a binder aside.
Thank heaven you do not. Then I know no more of it than you do, indeed, sir.
Oh, Lord, what have you done, sir? Why, the paper is mine. I dropped it out of my bosom.
Snatching it from him.
Ah, yours, mistress.
Is a binder aside.
What does she mean by owning it?
Yes, sir, it is.
What is it? Speak.
Why, sir, it is a charm for the toothache. I have worn it this 7 year. 'Twas given me by an angel, for aught I know, when I was raving with the pain, for nobody knew from whence he came, nor whither he went. He charged me never to open it, lest some dire vengeance befall me, and heaven knows what will be the event. Oh, cruel misfortune that I should drop it, and you should open it! If you had not opened it!
Is a binder aside.
Excellent wench!
Pox of your charms and whims for me. If that be all, 'tis well enough. There, burn it, and I warrant you no vengeance will follow.
Patch aside.
Phew, so that's all right again thus far.
Is a binder aside.
I would not lose Patch for the world. I'll take courage a little. Is this usage for your daughter, sir? Must my virtue and conduct be suspected? For every trifle you immure me like some dire offender here, and deny me all recreations which my sex enjoy, and the custom of the country and modesty allow. Yet not content with that, you make my confinement more intolerable by your mistrusts and jealousies. Would I were dead, so I were free from this.
Weeps.
Tomorrow rids you of this tiresome load. Don Diego Babinetto will be here, and then my care ends and his begins.
Is a binder aside.
Is he come then? Oh, how shall I avoid this hated marriage?
Enter servants with supper.
Come, will you sit down?
I can't eat, sir.
Patch aside.
No, I dare swear he has given her supper enough. I wish I could get into the closet.
Well, if you can't eat, then give me a song whilst I do.
I have such a cold. I can scarce speak, sir, much less sing.
Aside.
How shall I prevent Charles coming in?
I hope you have the use of your fingers, madam. Play a tune upon your spinet, whilst your woman sings me a song.
Patch aside.
I'm as much out of tune as my lady, if he knew all.
I shall make excellent music.
Sits down to play.
Really, sir, I'm so frightened about your opening this charm that I can't remember one song.
Pish, hang your charm. Come, come, sing anything.
Patch aside.
Yes, I'm likely to sing truly. Bless me, sir, I cannot raise my voice. My heart pants so.
Why, what does your heart pant so that you can't play neither? Pray, what key are you in, huh?
Patch aside.
Oh, would the key was turned off you once.
Why don't you sing, I say?
When madam has put her spinet in tune, sir.
I cannot play, sir, whatever ails me.
Rising.
Sounds, sit down and play me a tune, or I'll break the spinet about your ears.
What will become of me?
Sits down and plays. Sir Jealous to Patch.
Come, mistress.
Yes, sir.
Sings, but horribly out of tune.
Hey, hey, why are you atop of the house and you down in the cellar? What's the meaning of this? Is it on purpose to cross me, huh?
Pray, madam, take it a little lower. I cannot reach that note, nor any note, I fear.
Well, begin.
Aside.
Oh, Patch, we shall be discovered.
I sink with the apprehension, madam.
Sings. Charles pulls open the closet door.
Music and singing, 'tis thus the bright celestial court above beguiles the hours with music and with love. Death, her father there.
The women shriek.
Then I must fly.
Exit into the closet. Sir Jealous rises up hastily, seeing Charles slip back into the closet.
Hell and furies! A man in the closet?
A ghost! A ghost! He must not enter the closet.
Isabinder throws herself down before the closet door as in a sound.
The devil! I'll make a ghost of him, I warrant you.
Strives to get by.
Hold, sir! Have a care, you'll tread upon my lady. Who waits there? Bring some water. Oh, this comes of your opening the charm. Oh, 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 oh.
I'll charm you, housewife. Here lies the charm that's conjured this fellow in, I'm sure on't. Come out, you rascal, do so. Zounds, take her from the door, or I'll spurn her from it and break your neck down the stairs.
Oh, where am I?
Aside to Patch.
He's gone. I heard him leap down.
Nay, then let him enter. Here, madam, smell to this. Come, give me your hand. Come nearer to the window. The air will do you good.
I would she were in her grave. Where are you, sirrah? Villain, robber of my honour. I'll pull you out of your nest.
Goes into the closet.
You'll be mistaken, old gentleman. The bird is flown.
I'm glad I have escaped so well. I was almost dead in earnest with the fright.
Re-enter Sir Jealous out of the closet.
Whoever the dog were, he has escaped out the window, for the sash is up. But though he's got out of my reach, you are not. And first, Mrs. Pander, with your charms for toothache, get out of my house. Go, troop. Yet hold, stay. I'll see you out of doors myself, but I'll secure your charge ere I go.
What do you mean, sir? Was she not a creature of your own providing?
She was of the devil's providing for aught I know.
What have I done, sir, to merit your displeasure?
I don't know which of you have done it, but you shall both suffer for it till I can discover whose guilt it is. Go, get in there. I'll move you from this side of the house.
Pushes Isabinder in at the other door and locks it, puts the key in his pocket.
I'll keep the key myself. I'll try what ghost will get into that room. And now, forsooth, I'll wait on you downstairs.
Oh, my poor lady. Downstairs, sir. But I won't go out, sir, till I have looked up my clothes.
If thou wert as naked as thou wert born, thou shouldst not stay to put on a smock. Come along, I say. When your mistress is married, you shall have your rags, and everything that belongs to you. But till then...
Exit, pulling her out.
Oh, barbarous usage for nothing.
Re-enter at the lower door.
There, go, and come no more within sight of my habitation these 3 days, I charge you.
Slaps the door after her.
Did ever anybody see such an old monster?
Enter Charles.
Oh, Mr. Charles, your affairs and mine are in an ill posture.
I am immured to the frowns of fortune, but what has befallen thee?
Sir Jealous, whose suspicious nature is always on the watch, nay, even whilst one eye sleeps, the other keeps sentinel, upon sight of you flew into such a violent passion that I couldn't find no stratagem to appease him, but in spite of all arguments, locked his daughter into his own apartment, and turned me out of doors.
Ha! Oh, Isabinder!
And swears she shall neither see sun nor moon till she is Don Diego Babinetto's wife, who arrived last night and is expected with impatience.
He dies. Yes, by all the wrongs of love he shall. Here will I plant myself, and through my breast he shall make his passage if he enters.
A most heroic resolution. There might be ways found out more to your advantage. Policy is often preferred to open force.
I apprehend you not.
What think you of personating this Spaniard, imposing upon the father, and marrying your mistress by his own consent?
Sayest thou so, my angel? Oh, could that be done, my life to come would be too short to recompense thee. But how can I do that, when I neither know what ship he came in, nor from what part of Spain, who recommends him, nor how attended?
I can solve all this. He is from Madrid, his father's name Don Pedro Questo Portento Babinetto. Here's a letter of his to Sir Jealous, which he dropped one day. You understand Spanish, and the hand may be counterfeited. You conceive me, sir?
My better genius, thou hast revived my drooping soul. I'll about it instantly. Come to my lodgings, and we'll concert matters.
Exeunt. Scene a garden gate open. Centwell waiting within. Enter Sir George Airy.
So, this is the gate, and most invitingly open. If there should be a blunderbuss here now, what a dreadful ditty would my fall make for fools, and but a jest for the wits. How my name would be roared about streets. Well, I'll venture all.
St, st, Sir George Airy.
Enters.
A female voice. Thus far I'm safe, my dear.
No, I'm not your dear, but I'll conduct you to her. Give me your hand. You must go through many a dark passage and dirty step before you arrive.
I know I must before I arrive at paradise. Therefore be quick, my charming guide.
For aught you know. Come, your hand and away.
Here, here, child, you can't be half so swift as my desires.
Exeunt. Scene the house. Enter Miranda.
Well, let me reason a little with my mad self. Now don't I transgress all rules to venture upon a man without the advice of the grave and wise, but then a rigid, knavish guardian who would have married me. To whom? Even to his nauseous self, or nobody. Sir George is what I have tried in conversation, inquired into his character, am satisfied in both. Then his love, who would have given 100 pound only to have seen a woman he had not infinitely loved. So I find my liking him has furnished me with arguments enough of his side, and now the only doubt remains whether he will come or no.
Enter Centwell.
That's resolved, madam, for here's the night.
Exit Centwell.
And do I once more behold that lovely object, whose idea fills my mind, and forms my pleasing dreams?
What, beginning again in heroics? Sir George, don't you remember how little fruit your last prodigal oration produced? Not one single word in answer.
Ha! The voice of my incognita! Why did you take 10,000 ways to captivate a heart your eyes alone had vanquished?
Prithee, no more of these flights. For our time's but short, and we must fall into business. Do you think we can agree on the same terrible bugbear, matrimony, without heartily repenting on both sides?
It has been my wish since first my longing eyes beheld ye.
And your happy ears drank in the pleasing news I had 30,000 pound.
Unkind! Did I not offer you, in those purchased minutes, to run the risk of your fortune, so you would but secure that lovely person to my arms?
Well, if you have such love and tenderness, since our wooing has been short, pray reserve it for our future days, to let the world see we are lovers after wedlock. 'Twill be a novelty.
Haste, then, and let us tie the knot, and prove the envied pair.
Hold, not so fast. I have provided better than to venture on dangerous experiments headlong. My guardian, trusting to my dissembled love, has given up my fortune to my own dispose. But with this proviso, that he tomorrow morning weds me. He is now gone to Dr. Commons for a license.
Ha! A license!
But I have planted emissaries that infallibly take him down to Epsom, under pretence that a brother usurer of his is to make him his executor, the thing on earth he covets.
'Tis his known character.
Now my instruments confirm him. This man is dying, and he sends me word he goes this minute. It must be tomorrow, ere he can be undeceived. That time is ours.
Let us improve it then, and settle on our coming years. Endless, endless happiness.
I dare not stir till I hear he's on the road. Then I and my writings, the most material point, are soon removed.
I have one favor to ask, if it lies in your power. You would be a friend to poor Charles, though the son of this tenacious man. He is as free from all his vices as nature and a good education can make him. And what now I have vanity enough to hope will induce you, he is the man on earth I love.
I was never his enemy, and only put on as it helped my design on his father. If his uncle's estate ought to be in his possession, which I shrewdly suspect, I may do him a singular piece of service.
You are all goodness.
Enter Centwell.
Oh, madam, My master and Mr. Marplot are just coming into the house.
Undone! Undone! If he finds you here in this crisis, all my plots are unraveled.
What shall I do? Can't I get back into the garden?
Oh no! He comes up those stairs!
Here, here, here! Can you condescend to stand behind this chimney board, Sir George?
Anywhere, anywhere, dear madam, without ceremony.
Come, come, sir, lie close.
They put him behind the chimney board. Enter Sir Francis and Marplot, Sir Francis peeling an orange.
I could not go, though 'tis upon life and death, without taking leave of dear Chargy. Besides, this fellow buzzed in my ears that thou mightst be so desperate to shoot that wild rake which haunts the garden gate, and that would bring us into trouble, dear.
Miranda, frowning at Marplot, aside.
So Marplot brought you back, then. I am obliged to him for that, I'm sure.
Marplot, aside.
By her looks, she means she is not obliged to me. I have done some mischief now, but what, I can't imagine.
Well, Chargy, I have had 3 messengers to come to Epsom to my neighbour Squeezums, who, for all his vast riches, is departing.
See what all you usurers must come to?
Peace, ye young knave. Some 40 years hence I may think on it. But, Chargy, I'll be with thee tomorrow. Before those pretty eyes are open, I will, Chargy. I'll rouse you, I saith. Here, Mrs. Centwell, lift up your lady's chimney-board, that I may throw my peel in, and not litter her chamber.
Oh, my stars, what will become of us now?
Oh, pray, sir, give it me. I love it above all things in nature, indeed I do.
No, no, hussy. You have the green pip already. I'll have no more apothecary's bills.
Goes towards the chimney.
Hold, dear Guardy. I have a monkey shut up there, and if you open it before the man comes that is to tame it, 'tis so wild 'twill break all my china, or get away, and that would break my heart, for I am fond on it to distraction, next to thee, dear Guardy.
Well, Chargy, I won't open it. She shall have her monkey, poor rogue. Here, throw this peel out of the window.
Exit Centwell.
A monkey, dear madam, let me see it. I can tame a monkey as well as the best of them all. Oh, how I love the little miniatures of man.
Be quiet, mischief, and stand farther from the chimney. You shall not see my monkey. Why, sure.
Striving with him.
For heaven's sake, dear madam, let me but peep to see if it be as pretty as my Lady Fiddlefaddle's. Has it got a chain?
Not yet, but I design it one shall last its lifetime. Nay, you shall not see it. Look, Guardy, how he teases me.
Sir Francis getting between him and the chimney.
Sirrah, let my Chargy's monkey alone, or Bambo shall fly about your ears. What, is there no dealing with you?
Pooh, pox of the monkey. Here's a rout. I wish he may rival you.
Enter a servant.
Sir, they put 2 more horses in the coach as you ordered, and 'tis ready at the door.
Well, I'm going to be executor, better for thee, Jewel. Bye, Chargy, one buss. I'm glad thou hast got a monkey to divert thee a little.
Thank ye, dear Guardy. Nay, I'll see you to the coach.
That's kind, Adod.
Miranda to Marplot.
Come along, impertinence.
Marplot stepping back.
Egad, I will see the monkey now.
Lifts the board and discovers Sir George.
Oh, Lord! Oh, Lord! Thieves! Thieves! Murderers!
Dame, you unlucky dog, 'tis I. Which way shall I get out? Show me instantly, or I'll cut your throat.
Undone! Undone! At that door there! But hold! Break that china, and I'll bring you off.
He runs off at the corner and throws down some china. Re-enter Sir Francis, Miranda, and Centwell.
Mercy on me! What's the matter?
Oh, you toad! What have you done?
No great harm. I beg of you to forgive me. Longing to see the monkey, I did but just raise up the board, and it flew over my shoulders, scratched all my face, broke yon china, and whisked out of the window.
Was ever such an unlucky rogue? Sirrah, I forbid you my house. Call the servants to get the monkey again. I would stay myself to look it, but that you know my earnest business.
Oh, my lady will be the best to lure it back. All them creatures love my lady extremely.
Go, go, dear Guardy. I hope I shall recover it.
Bye-bye, dear. Ah, mischief, how you look now. Bye-bye.
Exit.
Centwell, see him in the coach, and bring me word.
Yes, madam.
So, sir, you have done your friend a signal piece of service, I suppose.
Why, look you, madam, if I have committed a fault, thank yourself. No man is more serviceable when I am led into a secret, nor none more unlucky at finding it out. Who could divine your meaning when you talked of a blunderbuss? Who thought of a rendezvous? And when you talked of a monkey, who the devil dreamt of Sir George?
A sign you converse but little with our sex when you can't reconcile contradictions.
Enter Centwell.
He's gone, madam, as fast as the coach and six can carry him.
Enter Sir George.
Then I may appear.
Dear Sir George, make my peace. On my soul, I did not think of you.
I dare swear thou didst not, madam. I beg you to forgive him.
Well, Sir George, if he can be a secret.
Odds heart, madam, I'm as secret as a priest when I'm trusted.
Why, 'tis with a priest our business is at present.
Madam, here's Mistress Isabinda's woman to wait on you.
Bring her up.
Enter Patch.
How do you do, Mrs. Patch? What news from your lady?
That's for your private ear, madam. Sir George, there's a friend of yours has an urgent occasion for your assistance.
His name?
Charles.
Ah, then there is something afoot that I know nothing of. I'll wait on you, Sir George.
A third person may not be proper, perhaps, as soon as I have dispatched my own affairs. I am at his service. I'll send my servant to tell him. I'll wait upon him in half an hour.
How come you employed in this message, Mrs. Patch?
Want of business, madam. I am discharged by my master, but hope to serve my lady still.
How discharged? You must tell me the whole story within.
With all my heart, madam.
Marplow, aside.
Pish pox! I wish I were fairly out of the house. I find marriage is the end of this secret. And now I am half mad to know what Charles wants him for.
Madam, I'm doubly pressed by love and friendship. This exigence admits of no delay. Shall we make marplot of the party?
If you'll run the hazard, Sir George, I believe he means well.
Nay, nay, for my part, I desire to be led into nothing. I'll be gone, therefore pray don't mistrust me.
Going.
So now has he a mind to be gone to Charles? But not knowing what affairs he may have upon his hands at present, I'm resolved he shan't stir. No, Mr. Marplot, you must not leave us. We want a third person.
Takes hold of him.
I never had more mind to be gone in my life.
Come along, then. If we fail in the voyage, thank yourself for taking this ill-starred gentleman on board.
That vessel ne'er can unsuccessful prove, whose freight is beauty, and whose pilot love.
End of Act 4. Act 5 of The Busybody by Susanna Centlivre. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Act the 5th. Enter Miranda, Patch, and Centwell.
Well, Patch, I have done a strange, bold thing. My fate is determined, and expectation is no more. Now, to avoid the impertinence and roguery of an old man, I have thrown myself into the extravagance of a young one. If he should despise, slight, or use me ill, there is no remedy from a husband but the grave, and that's a terrible sanctuary to one of my age and constitution.
Oh, fear not, madam, you'll find your account in Sir George Airy. It is impossible a man of sense should use a woman ill, endued with beauty, wit, and fortune. It must be the lady's fault if she does not wear the unfashionable name of wife easy, when nothing but complaisance and good humour is requisite on either side to make them happy.
I long till I am out of this house, lest any accident should bring my guardian back. Centwell, put my best jewels into the little casket, slip them into thy pocket, and let us march off to Sir Jealous's.
It shall be done, madam.
Exit Centwell.
Sir George will be impatient, madam. If their plot succeeds, we shall be well received. If not, he will be able to protect us. Besides, I long to know how my young lady fares.
Farewell, old Mammon, and thy detested walls. 'Twill be no more, sweet Sir Francis. I shall be compelled to the odious task of dissembling no longer to get my own, and coax him with the wheedling names of my precious, my dear, dear Guardy. Oh, heavens!
Enter Sir Francis behind.
Ah, my sweet Chargy, don't be frightened.
She starts.
But thy poor Guardy has been abused, cheated, fooled, betrayed, but nobody knows by whom.
Miranda, aside.
Undone! Past redemption!
What won't you speak to me, Chargy?
I'm so surprised with joy to see you. I know not what to say.
Poor dear girl. But do we know that my son, or some such rogue, to rob or murder me, or both, contrived this journey? For upon the road I met my neighbor Squeezem well, and coming to town.
Good lack, what tricks are there in this world?
Enter Centwell with a diamond necklace in her hand, not seeing Sir Francis.
Madam, be pleased to tie this necklace on, for I can't get it into the...
Seeing Sir Francis.
The wench is a fool, I think. Could you not have carried it to be mended without putting it in the box?
What's the matter?
Only, dear, I bid her... Your ill usage has put everything out of my head. Won't you go, Guardy, and find out these fellows, and have them punished, and...
Where should I look them, child? No, I'll sit me down contented with my safety, nor stir out of my own doors, till I go with thee to a parson.
Miranda, aside.
If he goes into his closet, I am ruined. Oh, bless me in this fright. I had forgot Mrs. Patch.
Ay, madam, and I stay for your speedy answer.
Miranda, aside.
I must get him out of the house. Now assist me, Fortune.
Mrs. Patch, I profess I did not see you. How dost thou do, Mrs. Patch? Well, don't you repent leaving my Chargy?
Yes, everybody must love her, but I came now...
Aside to Miranda.
Madam, what did I come for? My invention is at the last ebb.
Nay, never whisper, tell me.
She came, dear Guardy, to invite me to her lady's wedding, and you shall go with me, Guardy. 'Tis to be done this moment to a Spanish merchant. Old Sir Jealous keeps on his humour. The first minute he sees her, the next he marries her.
Ha ha ha! I'd go if I thought the sight of matrimony would tempt Chargy to perform her promise. There was a smile, there was a consenting look with those pretty twinklers, worth $1,000,000. Odds precious, I am happier than the great Mogul, the Emperor of China, or all the potentates that are not in wars. Speak, confirm it, make me leap out of my skin.
When one has resolved, 'tis in vain to stand, shall I, if ever I marry, positively this is my wedding day.
Oh, happy, happy man! Verily, I will beget a son. The first knight shall disinherit that dog Charles. I have estate enough to purchase a barony, and be the immortalizing the whole family of the grapes.
Come then, Guardy, give me thy hand, let's to this house of Hymen. My choice is fixed, let good or ill betide.
The joyful bridegroom I,
and I the happy bride.
Exeunt. Enter Sir Jealous meeting a servant.
Sir, here's a couple gentlemen inquire for you. One of 'em calls himself Signor Diego Babinetto.
Ah, Signor Babinetto. Admit 'em instantly. Joyful minute, I'll have my daughter married tonight.
Enter Charles in Spanish habit, with Sir George dressed like a merchant.
Señor, beso las manos vuestra merced y muy bienvenido en esta tierra.
Señor, soy muy humilde y muy obligado criado de vuestro merced. Mi padre envía a vuestra merced los más profundos de sus respetos y ha comisionado esta mercader inglés de concluir un negocio que me hace el más dichoso hombre del mundo, haciéndome su yerno.
I am glad, aunt, for I find I have lost much of my Spanish. Sir, I am your most humble servant. Señor Don Diego Babinetto has informed me that you are commissioned by Señor Don Pedro, etc., his worthy father,
to see an affair of marriage consummated between a daughter of yours and Señor Diego Babinetto, his son here. True, sir, such a trust is reposed in me as that letter will inform you.
Aside.
I hope 'twill pass upon him.
Gives him a letter.
Aye, 'tis his hand.
Seems to read.
Good.
Aside to Charles.
You have counterfeited to a nicety, Charles.
If the whole plot succeeds as well, I'm happy.
Sir, I find by this that you are a man of honour and probity. I think, sir, he calls you Meanwell.
Meanwell is my name, sir.
A very good name, and very significant.
Charles, aside.
Yes, faith, if he knew all.
For to mean well is to be honest, and to be honest is the virtue of a friend, and a friend is the delight and support of human society.
You shall find that I'll discharge the part of a friend in what I have undertaken, Sir Jealous.
Charles, aside.
But little does he think to whom.
Therefore, sir, I must entreat the presence of your fair daughter, and the assistance of your chaplain, for Señor Don Pedro strictly enjoined me to see the marriage rites performed as soon as we should arrive, to avoid the accidental overtures of Venus.
Overtures of Venus?
Aye, sir. That is, those little hawking females that traverse the park and the playhouse to put off their damaged wear. They fasten upon foreigners like leeches, and watch their arrival as carefully as the Kentish men do a shipwreck. I warned you, they have heard of him already.
Nay, I know this town swarms with them.
Aye, and then you know the Spaniards are naturally amorous, but very constant. The first face fixes 'em, and it may be dangerous to let him ramble ere he is tied.
Charles, aside.
Well hinted.
Pat to my purpose. Well, sir, there is but one thing more, and they shall be married instantly.
Charles, aside.
Pray heaven that one thing more don't spoil all.
Don Pedro writ me a word in his last but one that he designed the sum of 5,000 crowns by way of jointure for my daughter, and that it should be paid into my hand upon the day of marriage.
Charles, aside.
Oh, the devil!
In order to lodge it in some of our funds, in case she should become a widow and return for England.
Sir George, aside.
Pox on it, this is an unlucky turn. What shall I say?
And he does not mention one word of it in this letter.
Charles, aside.
I don't know how he should.
True, Sir Jealous, he told me such a thing. But, he did not imagine that you would insist upon the very day. For money, you know, is dangerous returning by sea, and...
Charles, aside to Sir George.
Zoons, say we have brought it in commodities.
And so, sir, he has sent it in merchandise, tobacco, sugars, spices, limons, and so forth, which shall be turned into money with all expedition. In the meantime, sir, if you please to accept of my bond for performance.
It is enough, sir. I am so pleased with the countenance of Señor Diego and the harmony of your name that I'll take your word and will fetch my daughter this moment. Within there.
Enter servant.
Desire Mr. Tackham, my neighbour's chaplain, to walk hither.
Yes, sir.
Exit.
Gentlemen, I'll return in an instant.
Exit.
Wondrous well, let me embrace thee.
Egad, that 5,000 pounds had like to have ruined the plot.
But that's over, and if fortune throws no more rubs in our way,
thou'lt carry the prize. But hist, here he comes.
Enter Sir Jealous, dragging in Isabinder.
Come along, you stubborn baggage, you! Come along!
Oh, hear me, sir. Hear me but speak one word. Do not destroy my everlasting peace. My soul abhors this Spaniard you have chose, nor can I wed him without being cursed.
How's that?
Let this posture move your tender nature.
Kneels.
Forever will I hang upon these knees, nor loose my hands till you cut off my hold, if you refuse to hear me, sir.
Charles, aside.
Oh, that I could discover myself to her.
Sir George, aside.
Have a care what you do. You had better trust to his obstinacy.
Did you ever see such a perverse slut? Off, I say, Mr. Meanwell, pray help me a little.
Rise, madam, and do not disoblige your father, who has provided a husband worthy of you, one that will love you equal with his soul, and one that you will love when once you know him.
Never, never could I suspect that falsehood in my heart. I would this moment tear it from my breast and straight present him with the treacherous part.
Charles, aside.
Oh, my charming, faithful dear.
Falsehood! Why, who the devil are you in love with? Ha! Don't provoke me, for by Santiago I shall beat you, housewife.
Charles, aside.
Heaven forbid, for I shall infallibly discover myself if he should.
Have patience, madam, and look at him. Why will you prepossess yourself against a man that is master of all the charms you would desire in a husband?
Ay, look at him, Isabinda. Señor Pasabinda adelanta.
My heart bleeds to see her grieve, whom I imagined would with joy receive me. Signora, obligue me vuestra merced su mano.
Sir Jealous, pulling up her head.
Hold up your head, housewife, and look at him. Is there a properer, handsomer, better-shaped fellow in England, ye jade you? Ah, see the obstinate baggage shuts her eyes. By Santiago, I have a good mind to beat 'em out.
Pushes her down.
Do then, sir, kill me instantly. 'Tis much the kinder action of the two, for 'twill be worse than death to wed him.
Sir Jealous, you are too passionate. Give me leave. I'll try by gentle words to work her to your purpose.
I pray do, Mr. Meanwell, I pray do. She'll break my heart.
Weeps.
There's in that jewels of the value of 3,000 livres, which were her mother's, and a paper wherein I have settled 1/2 of my estate upon her now, and the whole when I die. But provided she marries this gentleman, else by Santiago I'll turn her out of doors to beg or starve. Tell her this, Mr. Meanwell, pray do.
Walks off.
Ha! This is beyond expectation. Trust to me, sir. I'll lay the dangerous consequence of disobeying you at this juncture before her. I warrant you.
Charles, aside.
A sudden joy runs through my heart like a propitious omen.
Come, madam, do not blindly cast your life away, just in the moment you would wish to have it.
Pray, cease your troubles, sir. I have no wish but sudden death to free me from this hated Spaniard. If you are his friend, inform him what I say. My heart is given to another youth, whom I love with the same strength of passion that I hate this Diego, with whom, if I am forced to wed, my own hand shall cut the Gordian knot.
Suppose the Spaniard which you strive to shun should be the very man to whom you'd fly.
Ha!
Would you not blame your rash result, and curse those eyes that would not look on Charles?
On Charles! Oh, you have inspired new life, and collected every wandering sense. Where is he? Oh, let me fly into his arms.
Rises.
Hold, 'sdeath, madam, you'll ruin all. Your father believes him to be Señor Barbanetto. Compose yourself a little, pray, madam.
He runs to Sir Jealous. Charles, aside.
Her eyes declare she knows me.
She begins to hear reason, sir. The fear of being turned out of doors has done it.
Runs back to Isabinda.
'Tis he! Oh, my ravished soul!
Take heed, madam, you don't betray yourself. Seem with reluctance to consent, or you are undone.
Runs to Sir Jealous.
Speak gently to her, sir. I'm sure she'll yield. I see it in her face."
"Well, Isabinda, can you refuse to bless a father whose only care is to make you happy, as Mr. Meanwell has informed you? Come, wipe your eyes. Nay, prithee do, or thou wilt break thy father's heart. See, thou bring'st the tears in mine, to think of thy undutiful carriage to me."
Weeps.
Oh, do not weep, sir. Your tears are like a poniard to my soul. Do with me what you please. I am all obedience.
Then thou art my child again.
"'Tis done, and now, friend, the day's thine own."
The happiest of my life, if nothing intervene.
"And wilt thou love him?"
I will endeavour it, sir."
Enter servant.
"Sir, here is Mr. Tackham."
"Show him into the parlour. Señor, tome vin su épera. Sete momenta le junta les manos."
Gives her to Charles.
Oh, transport, Signor, yo la recibo como de se debe un tesoro tan grande. Oh, my joy, my life, my soul.
Embrace.
My faithful, everlasting comfort.
"And now, Mr. Meanwell, let's to the parson, who by his art will join this pair for life, make me the happiest father, her the happiest wife."
Exit. Scene changes to the street before Sir Jealous's door. Enter Marplot, solus.
I have hunted all over the town for Charles, but can't find him, and by whispers scouting at the end of the street, I suspect he must be in this house again. I'm informed, too, that he has borrowed a Spanish habit out of the playhouse. What can it mean?
Enter a servant of Sir Jealous's to him out of the house.
Harkee, sir, do you belong to this house?
"Yes, sir."
Pray, can you tell if there be a gentleman in it in Spanish habit?
"There is a Spanish gentleman within that is just a-going to marry my young lady, sir."
Are you sure he is a Spanish gentleman?
"I'm sure he speaks no English that I hear of."
Then that can't be him I want, for 'tis an English gentleman, though I suppose he may be dressed like a Spaniard, that I inquire after.
Servant aside.
"Ha! Who knows but this may be an impostor? I'll inform my master, for if he should be imposed upon, he'll beat us all round. Pray come in, sir, and see if this be the person you inquire for."
Scene changes to the inside the house. Enter Marplot.
So, this was a good contrivance. If this be Charles, now will he wonder how I found him out.
Enter servant and Jealous.
"What is your earnest business, blockhead, that you must speak with me before the ceremony's past? Who's this?"
"Why, this gentleman, sir, wants another gentleman in Spanish habit, he says."
"In Spanish habit? 'Tis some friend of Signor Don Diego's, I warrant. Sir, I suppose you would speak with Signor Barbinetto?"
Hey, day! What the devil does he say now? Sir, I don't understand you.
"Don't you understand Spanish, sir?"
Not I indeed, sir.
"I thought you had known Signor Barbinetto."
Not I, upon my word, sir.
"What, then you'd speak with his friend, the English merchant, Mr. Meanwell?"
Neither, sir. Not I.
"Why, who are you then, sir, and what do you want?"
Nay, nothing at all. Not I, sir. Pox on him. I wish I were out. He begins to exalt his voice, and I shall be beaten again.
Nothing at all, sir? Why then, what business have you in my house, huh?
You said you wanted a gentleman in Spanish habit.
Why, but his name is neither Barbenito nor Meanwell.
What is his name then, sir, huh? Now I look at you again, I believe you are the rogue threatened me with 6 myrmidons. Speak, sir, who is it you look for? Or...
A terrible old dog. Why, sir, only an honest young fellow of my acquaintance. I thought that here might be a ball, and that he might have been here in a masquerade. 'Tis Charles, Sir Francis Gripe's son, because I know he used to come hither sometimes.
Did he so? Not that I know of, I'm sure. Pray heaven that this be Don Diego. If I should be tricked now... Ah, my heart misgives me plaguily. Within there, stop the marriage. Run, sirrah, call all my servants. I'll be satisfied that this is Senor Pedro's son, ere he has my daughter.
Oh, Sir George, what have I done now?
Enter Sir George with a drawn sword between the scenes.
Ha, Marplot here. Oh, the unlucky dog. What's the matter, Sir Jealous?
Nay, I don't know the matter, Mr. Meanwell.
The Marplot, going up to Sir George.
Upon my soul, Sir George?
Nay, then, I'm betrayed, ruined, undone. Thieves, traitors, rogues.
Offers to go in.
Stop the marriage, I say.
I say, go on, Mr. Tackham. Nay, no entering here. I guard this passage, old gentleman. The act and deed were both your own, and I'll see 'em signed, or die for it.
Enter servants.
A pox on the act and deed. Fall on, knock him down.
Aye, come on, scoundrels. I'll prick your jackets for you.
Zounds, sirrah, I'll be revenged on you.
Beats Marplot.
Aye, there, your vengeance is due. Ha ha!
Why, what do you beat me for? I ain't married your daughter.
Rascals, why don't you knock him down?
We are afraid of his sword, sir. If you'll take that from him, we'll knock him down presently.
Enter Charles and Isabinder.
Seize her, then.
Rascals, retire. She's my wife. Touch her if you dare. I'll make dog's meat of you.
Ah, downright English. Oh.
Enter Sir Francis Gripe, Miranda, Patch, Centwell, and Whisper.
Into the house of joy we enter without knocking. Ha! I think this is the house of sorrow, Sir Jealous.
Oh, Sir Francis, are you come? What was this your contrivance, to abuse and trick and chouse me of my child?
My contrivance? What do you mean?
No, you don't know your son there in Spanish habit?
How? My son in Spanish habit? Sirrah, you'll come to be hanged. Get out of my sight, ye dog. Get out of my sight.
Get out of your sight, sir. Get out with your bags. Let's see what you'll give him now to maintain my daughter on.
Give him? He shall be never the better for a penny of mine. And you might have looked after your daughter better, Sir Jealous. Tricked, quotha! Egad, I think you designed to trick me. But look ye, gentlemen, I believe I shall trick you both. This lady is my wife, do you see? And my estate shall descend only to the heirs of her body.
Lawfully begotten by me. I shall be extremely obliged to you, Sir Francis.
Ha 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 ha! Poor Sir George, you see your project was of no use. Does not your £100 stick in your stomach? Ha ha ha!
No faith, Sir Francis. This lady has given me a cordial for that.
takes her by the hand.
Hold, sir, you have nothing to say to this lady.
Nor you nothing to do with my wife, sir.
Wife, sir?
Ay, really, guardian, 'tis even so. I hope you'll forgive my first offence.
What, have you choused me out of my consent and your writings then, mistress, huh?
Out of nothing but my own, guardian.
Ha ha ha! 'Tis some comfort at least to see you are overreached as well as myself. Will you settle your estate upon your son now?
He shall starve first.
That I have taken care to prevent. There, sir, is the writing of your uncle's estate, which has been your due these 3 years.
Gives Charles papers.
I shall study to deserve this favour.
What, have you robbed me too, mistress? Egad, I'll make you restore 'em. Huswife, I will so.
Take care I don't make you pay the arrears, sir. 'Tis well it's no worse since 'tis no better. Come, young man, seeing thou hast outwitted me, take her, and bless you both.
I hope, sir, you'll bestow your blessing too. 'Tis all I'll ask.
Kneels.
Confound you all!
Exit.
Mercy upon us, how he looks!
Ha ha! Never mind his curses, Charles. Thou'lt thrive not one jot the worse for him. Since this gentleman is reconciled, we are all made happy.
I always loved precaution and took care to avoid dangers. But when a thing is past, I ever had philosophy to be easy.
Which is the true sign of a great soul. I loved your daughter, and she me, and you shall have no reason to repent her choice.
You will not blame me, sir, for loving my own country best.
So here's everybody happy, I find, but poor Pillgarlic. I wonder what satisfaction I shall have for being cuffed, kicked, and beaten in your service.
I have been a little too familiar with you as things are fallen out. But since there's no help for it, you must forgive me.
Egad, I think so. But provided that you be not so familiar for the future.
Thou hast been an unlucky rogue.
But very honest.
That I'll vouch for, and freely forgive thee.
And I'll do you one piece of service more, Marplot. I'll take care that Sir Francis make you master of your estate.
That will make me as happy as any of you.
Your humble servant begs leave to remind you, madam.
Sir, I hope you'll give me leave to take Patch into favour again.
Nay, let your husband look to that. I have done with my care.
Her own liberty shall always oblige me. Here's no body but honest Whisper and Mrs. Centwell to be provided for now. It shall be left to their choice to marry or keep their services.
Nay, then, I'll stick to my master.
Coxcomb, and I prefer my lady before a footman.
Hark, I hear music. The fiddlers smell a wedding. What say you, young fellows, will ye have a dance?
With all my heart, call 'em in.
A dance.
Now let us in and refresh ourselves with a cheerful glass, in which we'll bury all animosities, and by my example let all parents move, and never strive to cross their children's love, but still submit that care to Providence above.
Finis. End of Act 5. Epilogue. In me you see one busybody more, though you may have enough of one before. With epilogues the busybody's way, we strive to help, but sometimes mar a play. At this mad sessions, half condemned ere tried, some in 3 days have been turned off and died. In spite of parties, their attempts are vain, for, like false prophets, they ne'er rise again. Too late, when cast your favour one beseeches, and epilogues prove execution speeches. Yet sure I spy no busybodies here, and one may pass, since they do everywhere. Sour critics time and breath and censures waste, and bulk your pleasures to refine your taste. One busy don ill-timed high tenets preaches, another yearly shows himself in speeches. Some snivelling cits would have a peace for spite, to starve those warriors who so bravely fight. Still, of a foe upon his knees afraid, whose well-hanged troops want money, heart, and bread, old beaux, who none, not even themselves, can please, are busy still, for nothing but to tease. The young, so busy to engage a heart, the mischief done, are busy most to part. Ungrateful wretches, who still cross one's will, when they more kindly might be busy still. One to a husband who ne'er dreamt of horns, shows how dear spouse with friend his brows adorns. The officious telltale fool, he should repent it, parts 3 kinds souls that lived at peace contented. Some with law quirks set houses by the ears, with physic one what he would heal impairs, like that dark mobbed up fry, that neighbouring curse, who to remove love's pain bestow a worse. Since then this meddling tribe infest the age, bear one a while, exposed upon the stage, let none but busybodies vent their spite, and with good humour, pleasure, crown the night. End of The Busybody by Susanna Centlivre.